The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Don't know, Mike. I don't know what you're talking about. See your buddies, need a macho. Now that you're listening to Mike Trash, TrashTalkingRadio.com, the best in the business. Say it to macho.
Wrestling fans throughout radio land, listen to Trash Talking Radio at TrashTalkingRadio.com. Every Tuesday from 7 to 10 o'clock, you hear guys like myself, the youth gambling giant come on. And that's my favorite.
That Trash Talking Radio Show from 7 to whenever we get done. It's like using the screwdriver. Cut, Bruce, Steve, this will never shine. The other half of the rock and wrestling tradition. That's the trashy one and the loony one.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ivan Kolop. I'm here to tell you about Mike Talking Trash. The trash never just there. You eat tonight, you got to listen in. It's the best around that lets it down. I'm David the Animal, so I can welcome and take you to learn more about yourself. If you know it's good for you, listen to Trash Talking Radio or else.
Everybody, you're watching Trash Talking Radio. This is Hulk Hogan. What do you got to say about Trash Talking Radio?
Well, I gotta say that I just bought Trash Talking Radio. You're out of the picture, dude. This is my show, and you better watch because what you gonna do when Hulk Hogan's brand new Trash Talking Radio runs wild on you?
This is the Vital Idol, and you're listening to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10 on TrashTalkingRadio.com. And remember this, when the Vital Idol tells you, it's got to be true. And when it's on the internet, it's got to be real. It's Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday from 7 to 10. I am the top of pop, the king of swing, the international rock star, way above par, the host with the most, Mr. Tuesday Night, the Vital Idol, Classy Mike Trash, and thank you very much.
It is Trash Talking Radio Tuesday night, and I'm almost there. Just hang tight here as I push the right button. All right. We there? Hey, we're there. Hey! All right. All right. Now, actually, I am showing up on screen this week. That's good. I'm not a big white blob. Now I'm just a white blob. But anyway, how you doing, Doug?
I'm doing very well, Michael. How are you?
I am just unbelievably good. Life is good, and I've been working on getting a manager or an agent, either one. I'm actually talking to 2 different managers. That's a good sign. And, yeah, I got a long way to go, but we'll see what happens. And, trying to make my way in this big world. And after all, I mean, I'm becoming more and more famous. Brett Favre even got a hold of me today.
Yeah. It's AI-generated Brett Favre.
I think it's a real one. Why do you think it's not the real one? It's got to be the real one. I hope. Oh, well, nope, now I hit the wrong button. Doggone it. Hit the wrong one. Now I got to hit the right button. Boom. There we go. I mean, after all, if Abe Lincoln thinks it's the same. I did have a download I wanted to share with you from Brett Favre. Let me see. I got this today he sent me a text message, and this is what it said. Hopefully.
Hi, it's Brett Favre. We cannot sit this election out. Go out and vote, whether it be by mail, early in-person voting, or on election day. We must support the America First agenda. God bless.
Now, he actually sent me a personalized text, though. He actually said my name. So, it's got to be real. Brett Favre said it.
Well, if it's on the internet, it's got to be real.
It's got to be real. So, but anyway.
Hey, we're Stoneface.
Oh, that's
and we are
one.
making America rock again.
Yeah, that's it. That's not the one I had. What's the one I had? There it is. Oh, that's not the one. How we can leave that up? Anyway. Yeah, I mean, geez. Our president, our ex-president.
A dead president.
How do you know he's dead? He just played guitar. He's still alive. He's playing. Oh, man. Anyway, so why don't we just jump right into the show? First thing I saw that was really interesting was there was a time when I would say Netflix was history. And now they're booming bigger than ever. Back in the early 2000s, somewhere around, actually not early 2000s, probably around 2014 to 16, somewhere around there, Netflix had all the Marvel movies on their agenda. You know, they were showing all the Marvel movies on their thing, and then Disney said, "Well, we don't really need you anymore because we've got our own streaming service coming out. So you now have a year more that you can use them, and then you're never going to see them again." And I thought that was going to destroy Netflix because that was Netflix's big thing. You know, you could get to see these Marvel movies over and over again and not have to worry about paying for it over and over again. And sure enough, they were hurting for a couple of years, and they were spending big bucks on horrible movies like Adam Sandler movies and stuff. And I thought for sure they were going to be toast by now. Well, it turns out I was wrong. Yes, I said it. I was wrong.
But you seem like you choked on those words, Mike.
I did. because the Hollywood Reporter says Netflix adds 5 million subscribers as profits and margins soar. There are 272 million global subscribers. That's unbelievable. And now they got a partnership going with at least Comcast, if not other people too, where they're selling us. I think for $30 we get Netflix, Apple TV, Peacock, and 40 other channels for free, or for that package price. I think that's pretty darn good, because you can't pay. You can't buy 2 of those for that price, let alone 40 channels and those. So more people are cutting their cable, and they don't want to have cable anymore. So now they can stream for a fraction of the price, because they don't have, Xfinity doesn't have the cost of those boxes, because you're using Roku boxes or Android boxes, or like for me, I use the NVIDIA boxes because they have a faster video card in them. So people are getting smart, and they're deciding, I don't really need to do that. Where's the barking rats, dude? That's me, I think. At least it was me. It was me about 40 years ago. So, yeah, now I'm a part of Stoneface. But, yeah, I mean, the bottom line is that they really found a way to survive in this era of consolidation, where people are, like, slowly but surely getting rid of their cable and getting rid of their subscriptions and stuff like that. And the other nice thing is you can turn Netflix off from month to month. If you don't think you're going to use it next month, you just turn it off. You just say, nope, I don't want it this month. I'll get it next month. Unless you're locked into one of the rates, one of the really, really good rates. So, I mean, it's something to think about. It's something that I definitely need to re-examine that, because I need to, he says, right? Yeah, that's me. I can tell you for sure that's me. That's there is no other guy other than me that's Mike Trash, and it's good to know that someone remembers the Barking Rats. It's that was a fun band. That was probably the most fun I've ever had. Actually, I play. My partner in the Barking Rats is Rich Butler, and he actually makes guitars, and we're in a guitar business together. So if you want to buy a guitar, we're the people to buy them from. So anyway, enough with my cheap plugs. But anyway, so it's just really interesting how they've gone from almost bankruptcy. Hi, Darrell. Almost bankruptcy to thriving. And at 282 million subscribers, I don't think they're going away anytime soon. I think they're definitely on the right path. They had some good marketing people to make sure that they don't perish, and they would have perished if they hadn't gotten a hold of it. So that was interesting. It says here the first part of the year, it says here, wait a minute, where's the rest of the... Okay, Netflix expects programming slate to return normal in 2025 after the strike disruption. There were a lot of people that had that issue. Filthy Rich Butler, yes, that is him. But yeah, I mean, those strikes, they hit one after another, and it's disrupted the situation for entertainment for the good part of last year. I mean, a lot of productions were shut down, like Zero Day, which I was lucky enough to get on that after they shut down. And I was lucky enough to actually be in that, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. It says here, third quarter earnings call, Ted Sarandos said its popular shows included Cobra Kai, Emily in Paris, as well as The Perfect Couple and Nobody Wants This, were initially scheduled to launch earlier in the year, but were delayed due to impacts from the strike. That strike really pushed everything off, because that Zero Day was supposed to come out in, I think, September. And I don't think we're going to see it till December now. So, I can't wait to see it. So, oh, by the way, the movie that I was in called Youngest Partisan is not out yet, but I got to see it. And it's really good. It really gets over what it's supposed to get over. I think it'll have some good impact. And it's coming out at the right time with, Israel getting pummeled. So even though it has nothing to do with the Germans, but they're being pummeled. So that's kind of interesting. The director gave me an advance copy of it, so I got to see it. Knock it off. But yeah, I think if things keep going, I kind of hope to work with him again, because he had a pretty good production, and like I said, the movie was pretty good as well. So what's that say? Get ready to see Stranger Things everywhere ahead of the show's 5th and final season. That is a Netflix show as well. I know the casting agent that cast some of these people for Stranger Season. I have my I have my short film submitted to 5 film festivals. Congratulations. I'd love to see it. It says here, ahead of the 5th and final season, Netflix is launching what it's calling Stranger Season, with experiences and activations, new consumer products, and a new comic book collection, all meant to hit the series impossible to miss the next month. Did you ever watch it? Did you ever see a Strange? I haven't either. I've heard it's really good. I probably ought to binge watch it and see it. That would be something I probably should do, but, you know, considering the fact I spend most of my day looking for work, it's just kind of, I guess I could do that in between my stuff that I do. Second thing I want to talk about was the World Series matchup. Now, I'm not a big baseball fan, but it seems that this is a big deal. You tell me if it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Is it? The Yankees and the Dodgers World Series start. Apparently that...
it's the top teams in both leagues.
Yeah. Well, weren't the Dodgers somewhere else at one time?
No, the Dodgers were always the Dodgers.
Okay, I thought they were, for some reason, I thought they relocated and they were another place. So they're, okay, so that's a big deal. Okay. The Dodgers defeated the New York Mets in Game 6 of the National League Championship Series Sunday night and will face the Yankees in the Fall Classic. How many games do they play?
7. It's a
okay.
best of 7
Best of 7.
series.
How'd they ever come up with that? I'm a baseball fan of the New York Yankees. Okay.
The best team usually comes up the winner.
Okay.
In a 7-game series.
They ever have a shutout?
Yeah, they've had shutouts.
Okay. I just, I've never really watched baseball, so I really have no knowledge of baseball. I know how to play. I know the basics, but I never really watched it. Let's see here. And you can watch it on Fox. So that's one thing that Netflix didn't buy yet. They didn't buy the series. They bought football.
It'll go streaming at some point.
Yeah. Isn't the part of football in Netflix now?
Amazon Prime has Thursday Night Football.
That's what it is. I knew somebody had it. And wrestling, pro wrestling is going to be in 2025 is going to be on Netflix. So
correct.
That's interesting. So Netflix really made some moves to ensure that they're going to be around. Some big money moves too.
Well, signing the wrestling, that means every wrestling fan is going to buy Netflix.
Yes. And that was one thing that made me more interested in Netflix, is that they had wrestling programming. They had the Ric Flair stories on there. They got a couple things that really. Oh, by the way, there's a new Rock movie coming out, and that movie looks really good. YouTube and Amazon for football, WWE is Netflix and Peacock, and they also are on CW for the NXT stuff. So I found that interesting that they broadened their spectrum, because usually they were on. They have been on Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi, I guess, is part of USA. And so whenever USA had to cover something, they moved to Sci-Fi. And usually you'd see, and you also got to see Friday night was either on Fox or it was on, they kept moving it around. I had a hard time finding it sometimes. But now I think it's got a home on USA. They moved Friday to USA, and I guess Raw's going to go to Netflix. Sooner or later, we're not going to have networks. It's all going to be streaming. Probably sooner rather than later, because people don't want to pay for the cable boxes anymore.
Well, I have YouTube TV, but it's $80 a month.
Wow.
And I barely use it.
Oh, well.
I use it for certain things.
Yeah.
And, I'm losing interest in network TV shows. I've lost interest in almost all of it.
Yeah.
And I'm not watching any new shows this year. I'm finishing up 2. But when they go off the air, I'll have no need, except for football. I'll have no need whatsoever
Wow,
for YouTube TV.
that's crazy. I don't know. I think that there's certainly a lot of. I don't watch NXT. Too boring. I don't know. I like. See, I like a lot of TV, a lot of different TV. Well, mainly because I can now use the excuse that it's because of wrestling, or because of being an actor and stuff like that. But I've always been into. There was only a short period of time when I wasn't into TV, and that's when I was in my early stages of college, and I just didn't have time for it, and so I didn't watch as much TV then. But I've more than made up for it. Then there was the Hall of Fame. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was recorded this weekend. It was recent anyway. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame turns up star power to induct Cher, Foreigner, Mary J. Blige, Ozzy, and more. Who would have thought that Ozzy and Cher would stand in the same corner? They're about the same age, but different information, different types of music.
One's plastic and the other one's real.
Yeah, I'm not sure which is which, but Hollywood stars Julia Roberts and Zendaya. I don't know. Sadeh. Bookend Saturday's inductions in the Rock.
Is there a picture of her?
Yeah. There you go. I'm thinking that's her.
No, that's not Sadeh.
Oh, I don't know what she looks like.
That's not the girl. She's African American.
Oh, okay.
Maybe an islander.
Okay. Says here, giving a little stardust to eclectic lineup included pop icon Cher, heavy metal Ozzy Osbourne, hip-hop soul queen Mary J. Blige, soft rockers Foreigner. They call them soft rockers? Really? An 83-year-old Dionne Warwick. Wow. It was a 5-hour-plus show that also honored hip-hop trailblazers A Tribe Called Quest, punk pioneers MC5, the effortless dance music of Kool and the Gang, the soft rock of Foreigner, the beach bum tunes of Jimmy Buffett, and the jam band fusion Dave Matthews. I got to see Jimmy Buffett, and I didn't really want to see him. I just won tickets at work one time, and I went to see him because it was free. And the problem with that was none. It was fun. I went to see it and actually enjoyed myself. So that was.
Did you see Dave Matthews?
No, I've never seen him. I've heard his stuff.
I've never seen him either.
I've heard his stuff, and I was never really. Not much of a Dave Matthews
fan. There's a jam band. It's a jam band.
Yeah.
He starts singing, and then they just go off for 20 minutes.
Yeah. I just don't like his music. I mean, that's really it. It's the inner speech. Cher thanked her mother for instilling her to always get back up after defeat. I never give up, she said. I'm talking to the women, down and out. We keep going. Roberts helped to induct Dave Matthews Band. She's a self-avowed super fan. She appeared in band's video for 2005 Dream Girl. Roberts, wearing a band t-shirt, said the appeal of the group's is spontaneous abandon, adding the first time she danced with her husband was to one of their songs. Yeah, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I know I recognize that a lot of people like them. Chuck D inducted Kool and the Gang, saying this is a long due celebration. The band had 12 top 10 hits in Billboard, including the 1980 top charter Celebration, as well as Cherish, Get Down On It, Jungle Boogie, Ladies Night, and Joanna. They've been eligible for the Hall since 1994. That took a long time for them to be inducted. Jeez. If they've been eligible since 1994, nobody gets in the first time, but it's just crazy that they had to wait that long, you know. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I've had to wait 40 years, so, you know, they got 30.
So Cher didn't make it the first time? That surprises me.
I doubt that she did, because it's really rare when they induct somebody the first time. It says here, the Roots helped the band do a medley of hits, got the crowd grooving, led by Robert Cool Bell, bass guitarist, co-founder and last original member, and longtime singer James J.T. Taylor. Confetti shot into the arena, and Taylor asked the crowd to use their cell phone lights as he read off the names of the 10 members who were critical to the band's success. Warwick arrived at the ceremony only a few days after attending a memorial of her longtime friend and collaborator Cissy Houston. Tiana Taylor called her truly one of a kind, as well as telling off the teleprompter operator for not putting Ms. before the name. Jennifer Hudson sang I'll Never Love This Way Again, and was joined by Warwick, who also sang Walk On By. I'm going to watch it when it comes on. It'll probably come on Max, but that's usually when I get to watch it. Sammy Hagar introduced Foreigner, and thanked their fans for their tenacity and to demand inclusion. The English-American rockers with hits like Cold as Ice, Waiting for a Girl Like You, topped the charts in the 70s and 80s, but never made it into the Hall, much less the ballot, until last year, despite being eligible for more than 20 years. Hagar noted Foreigner currently tours without any original members. That's how good the songs are. He said, who deserves this more than Foreigner? That's funny. Demi Lovato and Slash joined the touring Foreigner for Feels Like the First Time, and Hagar took the lead for Hot Blooded. Kelly Clarkson thrilled with a powerful I Want to Know What Love Is, but the arena erupted when the original singer Lou Gramm joined. Oh, that's cool. Lou Gramm's, man, I'm telling you, we do one of Foreigner's songs so far, and you know, it's to me, that's a band that's definitely overlooked because they had so many hits. Saturday's induction ceremony was at the Rocket Morgan Fieldhouse in Cleveland, where Hall has promised to return every few years. A TV special with highlights will air on ABC January 1st. I guess that means it's not going to be on Max this year. Roger Daltrey of The Who inducted Frampton. It's about bloody time, he said. Peter is the most amazing career of all time, and probably the easier to name the people he hasn't worked with than the people he has. Frampton's earned his way. You know, I'm surprised Frampton wasn't in already, because he had all those hits in the 70s that were really good hits.
I saw him at concert. He was really good at concert.
Oh, he went through his hard times. You know, he went through his partying times and out of control times, but you know, he straightened his act out, and from what I understand, he's turned to the good side or whatever. Says here, a fitting, grinning Frampton. Oh, here was saying Frampton earned his way into the Hall in a large part of the strength of 1976 album Frampton Comes Alive by the song Show Me the Way and Baby I Love Your Way. Daltrey noted Frampton has always played with a wide smile. A fitting, grinning Frampton who played at last year's ceremony to honor Sheryl Crow brought on Keith Urban to trade licks on Do You Feel Like I Do. That would have been cool. I'm not a big country guy, but I would love to have seen that. Well, I probably will see that once it comes on the air. But Dave Matthews, before his band's induction, helped honor Buffett with the acoustic version of the late singer-songwriter's A Pirate Looks at 40. James Taylor then came out to call Buffett, who popularized beach bum soft rock with this escapist Margaritaville, larger than life, but at the same time, right-sized and always authentic. That's what I like. See, when I went to see him play I got it. It took me all those years of not liking him to have one time of seeing him and realizing what his appeal was. The appeal was he was just one of the guys. Just one of the guys that has a guitar, that played songs that people wanted to hear. And they all partied together. I got it. I understood it after seeing it. But it took me all these years to actually understand what the appeal was for him. Because I hate his song. I hate the Margaritaville song. But I understand it now.
Every time I go to the beach, I play him.
Yep. Musician actor Jack Black toasted Osbourne, saying that heaven opened up above me, and when he first listened to the album Blizzard of Oz, Black called Osbourne the Jack Nicholson of rock, and joked that his reality TV show, The Osbournes, was probably the most evil thing he ever did. Did you ever watch that Osbourne show?
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I did.
It was so...
I liked it. I liked it. Of course, I couldn't understand most of what Ozzy said.
It was a train wreck. It was a train wreck. That's why I think I liked it. Here's this guy with millions of dollars, and he has this beautiful mansion, and he has the dog pooping on his floor. You know?
Yeah.
It was a train wreck. It reminds me of what would happen to me if I had all that money. And, yeah, you're right. When you never understood what he was saying, but he knew what he was talking about. Osbourne was one of a kind. Is one of a kind. I feel bad for him because he's on his last legs. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're probably never gonna see him tour again, which is bad. Osbourne, seated on the throne, credited the late guitarist Randy Rhoads and his wife Sharon for his career and life. This is the second time Ozzy has entered the hall. Really? Oh, first time in 2006 with his seminal band Black Sabbath. Oh yeah, that would make sense. A tribute band to Prince of Darkness, including Jelly Roll, Billy Idol, Maynard James Keenan, Wolfgang Van Halen, Steve Stevens, and Robert Trujillo played Crazy Train, Mama, I'm Coming Home, and No More Tears. That would be interesting to see that. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that show. So the memoriam section included tributes, among others, to Chris Christopherson, Cissy Houston, David Sanborn, and Liam Payne. Dave Matthews Band performed Burning Down the House from the Talking Heads as fans filled out. Hi. I see a dog here. What do you want? What do you want? I got to turn the page. Dog doesn't want me to turn the page. All right, so that was that. So that's good stuff. Hey, jealous dog, stop up.
I used to listen to Sanborn. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of a kind. I think I was introduced to him with Pete, our friend Pete. So yeah, I remember he used to listen to that stuff, and I didn't understand it because it wasn't rock. But you know, that's why you guys are you guys, and I'm closed-minded.
You just you're not open to other forms of music.
I like both types, rock and roll. You know?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good line.
Oh man, got two pesky dogs, and they're pesting me like crazy. They know when the show starts. They check their puppy watches, and then they say treat time. All right, then. Elon news. SpaceX awarded $733 million in launch contracts from the U.S. Space Force, beating out United Launch Alliance. Do you remember?
Musk is going to own space.
Musk is going to own everything. He's little by little taking the world over.
Yeah, but X is in big trouble.
Why is? Oh yeah, well, he can afford to lose some money.
A lot of money to lose.
To him, that's nothing. You know.
45 billion, and the prices. You ought to look up what the prices.
I'm afraid to look. I was going to buy into the stock when he bought it because I thought he's going to make it turn around because he made. I remember when he made Tesla turn around because Tesla was in serious distress when I bought my car, and the only reason they were making money, they had not made a profit on selling cars, but they made their money by the tax credits that were given to them. They sold the tax credits to the companies overseas, or wait a minute, yeah, they sold tax credits to companies overseas that were mandated to have X amount of cars on their lot that were, or had to show X amount of sales. So they partnered with a bunch of car companies overseas, and they put their cars on that lot. So they actually had a dealership, and through the sales, well, some of them they sold the tax credits, some of them they sold their cars on their lots. But that saved a lot of dealers overseas because they didn't have any electric cars to sell, and you had to have a certain amount had to be electric. So that was kind of interesting. Anyway,
he is suing.
Yes.
The Coastal Commission, anyhow, the ones that control the launch along the coast.
That's a different suit. Oh, I didn't know about that.
That's a different suit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because there's another. He's suing somebody else too. I forget who it is. I don't know if I wrote it down or not.
He sues a lot of people.
Hey, he has nothing to do.
Anyhow, he wanted to go from 33 launches a year at Vandenberg Space Force Base to over 50.
Wow.
And the Coastal Commission said no. And there's a memo that he got that said, the one commissioner said, after he came out and supported Trump, we're not going to give him anything.
What? Jeez.
Yes. So, and he is in bed with the governor of California because the governor thought it was bad too, bad for business.
Huh.
Because there are so many employees that work for SpaceX in California.
Wow.
And Musk has threatened to pull them all out of California and build bases other places.
Yeah. Why not? I hear there's some land in Florida that's open.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Newly bulldozed.
Yeah, really. It's already excavated.
Yeah.
Well, there's few trees in the way, but oh man, that's crazy. Anyway, so they win this. It's almost worth $1 billion, $733 million. That's just crazy.
They have the most reliable.
Yep.
And cheapest way to get things into space than anybody else.
And they can save people that are stuck out in space.
Just as timing, that's all.
Yeah, well, it helps.
You have to wait 6 months, but you'll get saved.
Yeah, well, it's not his fault they're stuck there.
No.
They have to build it and get it out there. So there were two eligible bidders.
They have contracts to launch at a certain time frame.
Okay.
And so they had to wait about 6 months for an opening to send a manned vehicle to pick them up. So that's why they had to wait 6 months.
Yeah, it's crazy. Two eligible bidders. The parameters of the competition limited bidders to SpaceX and United Launch. SpaceX won both task orders with a combined value of $733. That's just crazy. $733 million.
He makes so much money on Falcon 9s, which is the rocket that he uses to get almost everything into space.
Jeez.
And he makes so much because they're reusable.
Yeah.
Almost everything on a Falcon 9 is reusable.
Well,
he makes so much money on it.
He needs to do that,
And,
though, because, of
he funds other things with it.
Yes, like this. How Elon Musk's $1 million a day giveaway to battleground voters works. I just can't even imagine giving $1 million away. I mean, that's chump change to him, but, to most of us, or to all of us, except him, I just don't know. It says tech billionaire Elon Musk is making waves on Pennsylvania campaign trail in support for Donald Trump's re-election, including $1 million a day to swing state voters who signed the Political Action Committee's petition backing the Constitution. Every day from now through November 5th, at America PAC will be giving away $1 million to someone in the swing states who signs our petition to support for free speech and the right to bear arms. We want to make sure that everyone in the swing states hears about this, and I suspect this will ensure they do. Musk, the wealthiest individual in the U.S., posted on X early Sunday morning. The night prior, Musk granted $1 million sum to a Pennsylvania named John Dreher during an event in Harrisburg. I was going to go to that event too, except when I tried to sign up for it, the internet broke, and it didn't seem to let me. So.
Well, they know you, Mike.
Yeah.
You're on the list. You're on the list.
Yeah, it don't matter. I've been on the list before. And I've
You're
actually...
definitely on YouTube's list.
Yeah. Well, generally, that's what I'm known for, getting on the list there. Although we haven't had any problems with them lately. Although, yeah, we've been steering clear of things. But I'm waiting.
It's going to get worse when they fully augment AI into the system.
Probably. So, anyway, that's the gimmick that he has for doing that. So, let me see if I got that other article of his. I don't know. I thought I put another one here. I could have sworn I had another one of his. I don't see it though. I must have forgot. I thought there was another article that I read that I was going to put on there. All right, movies. Do you know what the number one movie was this week?
No, I do not.
I do not expect.
I don't even know what's playing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really expect you to know, but I just thought I'd ask anyway. Box office, Smile 2 wins with a grand opening of $23 million. That's horrible. Paramount's...
well, Smile 2 is a horror flick. Right?
Yeah, did you ever see the first one?
No.
It was bizarre. I liked it kind of, but horror movies aren't like they were when we were kids. I mean, it was weird. It was a weird movie, and I kind of figured that it's a weird. I mean, it knocked Terrifier out of first place, but Terrifier was the first place for the past 2 weeks, so it should have been knocked out of first place. Yeah, but let's see here.
23 million. They're barely recouping their.
No, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it said here, the new movie Smile 2 won the domestic box office with an estimated $23 million in 3,619 theaters, including IMAX and premium large format screens. That would put the film's debut just ahead of Smile, which is the first one. Smile was okay. I kind of liked the movie, so I guess it's right on. It's right on par with what the first one did in 2022, and that was in the middle of a pandemic, so that's not very good actually when you think about that. In late September, on its way to grossing more than it did make 200. The first one made 217 million, but it started out at 23 million. But then there was nothing else to watch.
Probably they made their money across the pond.
Well, and the fact that there was nothing else out. I mean, there were very few movies coming out at that point. So you didn't have a choice. There wasn't much you could watch. Overseas, the sequel took in 23 million, so it made 46 million. So, yeah. I thought Smile was okay. I don't know if I'd want to go see Smile 2 or not. I know somebody that was in that movie because that movie Actually, somebody in my class, my acting class, was in that movie. So that's interesting in itself. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all that is. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Now, what's next? Oh, since we're still talking about movies, Deadpool and Wolverine. Interesting story here. Now, remember, they broke $1 billion. So they overtook Barbie in an all-time domestic box office receipt. Now, Barbie only did it because all the girls went to see Barbie, and I have to admit that I went to see I didn't go to see it. I saw it here. And the movie was actually entertaining. I was surprised that it would be that entertaining. Everything was in pink. It was just funny. I hate to admit that I like that movie. People aren't gonna look at me the same. But
hey, get an envelope, Mike. Got to mail in that mail card.
Yeah, you bet. It says here, Deadpool and Wolverine's record-smashing box office streak took another milestone this week when Marvel Studios and Disney's R-rated film surpassed Barbie to rank number 12 on the list of all-time top-grossing films at the domestic box office, not adjusted for inflation. Over the weekend, they took in another $679,000 on top of everything else they've been. I mean, that's crazy. After Disney upped the film's theater count from 990 to 1,500 theaters for the final push before the Pic's theatrical run ends. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, crowd pleaser, finished Sunday with a domestic total of $636.3 million compared to $636.2 haul of Greta Gerwig and Warner Brothers' acclaimed meta-comedy. Barbie still outranks Deadpool threequel globally with a worldwide haul of $1.446 billion. The PG-rated family pick is the number 15 of all-time top-grossing films at the global box office. That's just, to me, unbelievable that one film could do that. But then again, Star Wars has done that, so I shouldn't really say that. But Star Wars is like 40 years old now. So, took them 40 years to do that kind of number. Let's see. What else do we got here? Okay, that's it for that. All right, next. Every single project out of DC Studios is going to be its own thing. DC Studios has not ever held up to Marvel. Marvel's been the leader in superheroes. But James Gunn moved from Marvel to DC a couple years ago, and he's going to revive the DC brand. At least that's what he says he's going to do. And he could do it. James Gunn and the cast of upcoming Max animated series Creature Commandos took the stage in New York Comic Con on Saturday, promising the DC Universe entry that is something beyond what any of us expected. The series executive producer and writer has joined at the PAC panel, and they're just, he expects them to come out swinging. We're going to see a very different Superman coming out of there. We're going to see Green Lantern, Supergirl. They're going to see all these guys that really didn't do what Marvel did. Marvel took these characters that I never even heard of and made them superstars, whereas Superman and Batman didn't ever really do what I expected them to do in that field for some reason. So I'd like to see that happen. Harley Quinn was kind of the interesting. They did the Suicide Squad, and that was where it took all the bad people out of the jail and like Harley Quinn and all the bad guys and made them good guys for two movies. And I don't know. We'll see how they do. I'd like to see. I think Gunn can do it if anybody can do it. But you got to make them interesting. You got to make them interesting enough that people are going to want to see it over and over again. Let's see. Is there anything else? There's nothing else on that. I kind of, I like what he had done with like, what was the name of the freaking, oh shoot, I can't think what it was called. He had a couple series that did really well with Marvel, and if he can take it over to DC, he can and turn that into what it should be. Hey, what's up, Tony? So we'll see what happens. I believe that he could do it. I just think it's a matter of him getting the right people behind him. So let's see. Do you have things on entertainment?
No, really.
Yours is all
political.
Okay.
Or war.
Okay. All right. We'll get through the entertainment, then we'll jump onto that. Reba McEntire? Reba.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that her, the singer? She had a Reba's Place and something like that. She had a.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, she had
a TV show.
She has a new TV show called Happy's Place. She plays the daughter of a bar owner that she inherits the bar, and then she finds out she has a half sister. So it's the new sitcom for Peacock, I think it is. So, yeah, NBC, generic Peacock. Does she even sing anymore? Is she still doing her thing?
I don't think she does. I don't think she tours.
I would imagine she's getting up there too.
She's still a pretty lady.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know how hard it is to sing when you get older. I want to see how old she is. 69. Yeah. Well, she could still do it. She does look good though. Could be because.
Yeah, I don't know if it's natural or plastic, but she does look good.
Yeah. I'd date her if she didn't sing. Because she does country, and I don't really do country. All right. So that's a new one. Then we got... Today in history books, U.S. Constitution first launched. USS Constitution first launched. Really? Do you know when that first launched, the USS Constitution?
I don't know the date, but it was in the 1800s or
1797. I didn't think it was that long ago. Okay. And inventor Alfred Nobel, founder of the Nobel Prize, was born in 1833. Carrie Fisher was born in 1956. The Guggenheim Museum opens to the public in 1959. Poet and novelist Jack Kerouac, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Kerouac, Kerouac, dies 1969. I don't even know why I left him in there because I didn't know how to say his name. Kim Kardashian was born in 1980. Whew. Now we got a little test for you though. How old's Christopher Lloyd?
He's got to be in his 80s, late 80s.
You're actually right in there. It's 86. Jeff Goldblum.
He's probably 60.
No, much older, 72.
He's 72.
72. Wow. Bob Odenkirk, I don't know if you know who he is, but he was Better Call Saul. He was in Breaking Bad. He is 62. Spike Jones. I
Well, I
wouldn't.
really don't know who he is, so
He's a singer, I think. Wait a minute. I want to see who he is. Now I gotta look. Now I don't know. I'm really surprised if it's who I think it is. Oh, why just go to YouTube?
As I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now.
I didn't ask
Wish
you
me
to.
luck.
No. I didn't ask you to. Wonder why I went there. All right. Well, he's 55.
Has again been a lifesaver with my application and helping me write my personal statement and CV. Grammarly is your digital writing assistant. It's an all-in-one tool that improves.
Didn't ask for your opinion. Then original Metropolitan Opera House opened in New York in 1883. Oscar-winning actress Joan Fontaine was born in 1917. Actress Annette Funicello was born in 1942. President John F. Kennedy alerts Americans to Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. Reggae artist Shaggy was born in 1968. I figured you probably didn't know most of that, because I didn't know any.
No. But Kennedy, what year was that again?
62.
I would have been 7 years old.
I would have been one. I would have been one. Then we got the crazed Diddy rape.
Oh, Diddy.
I don't understand.
Every time you turn around, another charge is coming his way.
Yeah, I can't imagine thinking you're going to get away with this. Oh, wait a minute. That's not the article. What was that? That wasn't the article I was expecting. Oh, I know what that is. That's a different article. Okay. No, that's not the one. Now I'm confused. Why did I put that there? That's not the article I wanted. Huh. All right. Well, that kind of screwed me up. All right. Let's see here. Diddy apparently raped a girl 13 at the VMAs. That guy, I'm telling you, if he gets out of jail ever, I just don't understand. Here we go. I'm surprised he didn't get in trouble before this. You know, a 13-year-old, jeez. He's been accused of allegedly drugging and raping a 13-year-old as two celebrities joined in at the VMAs. Disturbing allegations were laid bare in a slew of civil lawsuits filed against the fallen music mogul, in Southern District of New York. In the suits, an alleged teen victim, only identified as Jane Doe, claims she was attacked after having one drink that left her feeling woozy and lightheaded, and a drug-fueled house party in September 2000. That's just... Man, I just wonder how many things he did wrong. He seemed to really run with that.
And these are just the people that have come forward. How about how many other things he's pulled?
Yeah, it's crazy. I just don't even. I can't fathom that. Oh, there's the other thing I was looking for with the VMA or with the Hall of Fame thing. Okay, this one's interesting. I didn't know who he was, and we just talked about this slightly before the show. Cooper Hefner plots $100 million for the Playboy acquisition exclusive. Man, how much money do you have if you're paying $100 million for... Well, the Playboy brand probably can't be worth anything now. Because, I mean, nobody buys Playboy. I would imagine nobody buys Playboy. I mean, originally you bought Playboy because you couldn't get porn. But now you get porn all over the place. Why would you pay, I mean, yes, it was the high-class porn, but I can't imagine that brand being worth anything anymore. I guess it's they have the current owner's PLBY Group. I wonder if it's on the stock market. Probably is. It is on the stock market. Okay. It says Cooper Hefner, the son of the late Playboy founder Hugh Hefner, is making a $100 million bid to acquire the intellectual property and brand assets of Playboy Enterprises from its publicly traded parent company, PLBY Group. The $100 million all-cash offer includes a residual interest in the new company, giving equity holders a chance to recoup their value. PLBY Group ended last week with a market cap of $53.5 million. Okay, if I was that group, I would sell. If they want to pay me double what it's worth, I'd definitely be into selling it. I just don't even know why somebody would want that. Huh.
Nostalgia.
Really? Yeah, that's an expensive nostalgia.
That's an expensive nostalgia.
I just can't even imagine. I mean, I guess it still sells stuff. The fact that it's worth $53 a share at this point is shocking to me. But yeah, he does want to buy it, so let him buy it. All right, next thing. Oh wait, what happened here? Why didn't you disappear? You shouldn't disappear. Why did it go to... Who's that? Huh. Oh, okay, I must have hit the writer of the article by accident. Oh, here's another Musk. Oh, okay, you brought this up, so I'll let you talk about this. I think you brought this up. Blade Runner 2049 producer sues Elon Musk's Tesla. Did you talk about this or not? No, this is.
No, I didn't talk about this, but it's over music.
It's over images.
It's over in images.
Yeah, images for the Blade Runner 2049. We could talk about lawsuits now if you want to talk about. You were saying about one that he's in. This is one. I don't know how much he's expecting to get out of this, but a production company for Blade Runner 2049 has sued Tesla, which allegedly fed images from the movie into an artificial intelligent image generator to create unlicensed promotional materials. Alcon Entertainment, in a lawsuit filed Monday in California federal court, accuses Elon Musk of his autonomous vehicle company of misappropriating the movie's brand to promote its robotaxi at a glitzy unveiling earlier this month. The producer says it doesn't want Blade Runner 2049 to be affiliated with Musk because of his extreme political and social views. See, the thing is, I don't think that it amazes me that people say, okay, you can't use my images for your car company because you're a Republican. Is what he's saying. What does a Republican have to do with Blade Runner 2049? It has nothing to do with it. It's personal against him. It's not against his company, and it's not against his... I mean, granted, he should have gotten permission. You don't just use their stuff. I mean, you don't think that Abraham Lincoln isn't real, right? You know that Abraham Lincoln playing guitar is real, right? That electric guitar.
Yeah, he's been alive for decades and centuries.
And I have pictures or videos of Trump playing guitar too. AI is such a fun thing to have. I used AI earlier today. I was actually submitting my script for a producer, and I had too many words. Supposedly, okay, when your log line has to be, some people say 75 words or less. This one wanted 65 words or less, and I have one already tailored for 75. So I fed it into AI, and I said, can we make this 65 words or less? And it did it for me, and I plugged it into there. Sometimes the AI is great for things like that. You don't get in trouble for things like that, but, you know, get in trouble for other things like stealing images because you're a Republican. Oh, man. What was the thing you wanted to talk about with Elon?
Well, we talked about it, SpaceX.
Oh yeah, okay. There wasn't. I thought there was another one that we had. Okay. Okay. This one's done then. Oh, this is I got, I think, a couple more on entertainment. I think I got a couple more on entertainment here. Then we'll go on to some bigger stuff. Comcast sucks, by the way, in case anybody wondered, because the past 2 weeks I've been getting problems where the internet is turning on and off like it did a couple years ago. So, I mean, how could anyone say that was AI generated? That's definitely him. Okay.
Or isn't that proof he's alive?
Well, he was alive when that was playing anyway. I don't know if he died in the past couple of days. You never know. I mean, he's got to be like 200. All right. What was this? I'm trying to remember what this story was. Paula Abdul, Eddie Griffin to star in wrestling action comedy Midlife. What was I'm trying to remember what that was about. You know, I'm gonna. Okay, a piece of wrestling memorabilia is the focus of the new action comedy Raging Midlife. Oh, this sounds like the story of my life. Level 3 Entertainment has acquired North American rights to the feature from director Rob Taylor of Evil Cult. Taylor and Nick Costa penned the script, and the pair star alongside Paula Abdul, Eddie Griffin, and Star Trek mainstay Walter Koenig. I really got to see this. Level 33 is eyeing a release for early 2025 following the film's forthcoming premiere at the Austin Film Festival on October 26th. The trailer, which is exclusive to the Hollywood Reporter, can be seen below. Okay, we can watch. Okay, this is going to be good. I want to see it already. I think that's Macho Man right there. Oh, man. Can I make this bigger? I'm going to make this bigger. Hopefully this is not on YouTube. All right. Okay, we got to... Come on. Let me... see if we... Oh, that is YouTube. Well, let's see what happens.
You're living on the edge, Mike.
I know. But it's wrestling. I got to do it.
What is this? It's what you asked for. It's what you wanted. Okay, he's really tired. It was a long drive. What are you doing? It ain't what I want. It's what I need. What do you need? A tank top.
Racemania.
Is this about that wrestling shirt?
Yes, it's about that wrestling shirt. The shirt me and Alex have been looking for the last 30 years. The end-all be-all of shirts. So.
The shirt you said you'd need before settling down?
Yes. No. Buckle up, kids. You're about to take a ride.
I should be in this show.
Quest to reclaim Raging A's tank top they lost its children. Let's go get our shirt.
I'll get it.
When chasing after Raging A's tank top, remember to follow the 5 emancipations.
Down to Pound.
Show your fellow human respect. Be good to your folks.
My father's funeral is tomorrow. I am burying him in that shirt. That is how this ends.
Stay in school. Don't smoke drugs.
I'm so glad we're working on
That
this.
looks so 70s.
Do the crime unless you're willing to do the time. Think about what it's taken.
That is so 70s, the way that the way the pictures are, the way the video is taken, the way they're dressing. That's so 70s. Or maybe 80s. We'll go 80s. And the fact that it's a Hulkamania ripoff by Rageomania or whatever he had on his shirt. That would be, I want to see this so bad now.
Stick it to this smoke, because the time you got might not be much time at all.
Vintage Star Wars. 3 Han Solo. 2 Chewbacca. 39 Jar Jar Binks from the Final Jedi.
Dolores thought they'd be a hit. They weren't a hit.
Okay, I would watch that.
Emancipation Proclamation, yeah, dig it?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Rage and Abe. Back to you, Vern.
Oh my gosh, that's a bust on Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. So what's her face is playing Miss Elizabeth. That's funny. I will watch that. It's sad, but I would watch that. What's this one about? I can't remember what this was. Let's see here. We're getting. I've only got 2 more left, and then you can take the floor. Okay. Oh, okay. This is a. Okay, so this guy here is Murr from the Impractical Jokers. Apparently, he is doing a thriller. Lindsay Fonseca Russ to star in thriller Don't Move from Impractical Jokers mainstay James Murray. So I guess he's putting on he's going to have his own movie coming out. Now, he's written movies before. He's not been doing really well, but he's done, he's written a couple of things. But I love Impractical Jokers, and he's probably my favorite Impractical Joker. But it's good to see he's doing something else now. He's looking for other avenues, because there's going to be a point where that show isn't going to do real well. But they've been doing well for like 10 years. So he's raised a little bit of money anyway. So I'm waiting to see what happens. It says here they're going to have cameos from Murray and from Brian Quinn from Impractical Jokers. And I would definitely see it just because of him. So, yeah. Do you ever watch Impractical Jokers?
No.
To me, they're the craziest people out there. I mean, they go out there and they do jokes on each other. They do it in front of live people, and they have earpieces and stuff that they wear, and they gotta, like, if they play a waiter, they gotta say whatever the guy says in their ear to the people that they're attending to, and it's not really, it's very uncomfortable because they say really wild things about lots of wild things that I could never say. But there was 4 of them, and then one guy dropped out, and now there's 3 of them, and they're doing well with it, I think. So I would probably watch this movie just because it's his. All right, now let's see here. Lastly, okay. This is interesting to me because of the weight loss stuff. Sanjay Gupta to tackle Ozempic craze in CNN special. So all this big thing, the Ozempic originally was used for, was it mental issues? Is that what it was?
No, Ozempic was a diabetic
drug that people lost weight with. That's what it was. And now they got Wegovy and all those other offspins of it. Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Gupta will take a deep dive into the world of weight loss using Ozempic for primetime special on CNN. It'll be Sunday, November 17th at 8 p.m., and we'll see Gupta travel the world to speak to those directly involved to the drug's discovery and creation, as well as people who have used it. I know people that have used it, and some people have done really well. They've lost 80 pounds and stuff like that.
I use it. I've lost about 20 pounds.
Okay.
And now I've plateaued and don't lose anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean,
so my doctor wants me to try another one of them, and I'm resisting that because my blood sugar's been under control with Ozempic.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's for.
And I'm scared to go off of it now because my blood sugars have been good.
How much you say you lost? 20?
About 20.
That's how long you been on it?
Probably about 6 months now.
Okay. Well, that's not really bad considering.
I dropped 20 pounds quick.
And then you lost nothing.
And then, boom, then I lost nothing faster.
Interesting. I mean, I can honestly say I didn't use anything to lose my weight. I still am shocked that I'm at the weight that I'm at, because I just kept myself so busy and it just came off, and I was eating. I wasn't starving myself. Just I guess for the first time in my life, I can actually say I was happy. Kind of weird. But, okay, I'm done with entertainment, so we can tackle whatever your topics you want to use, and then we'll come back to me.
Okay, well, do you know why Trump was at McDonald's?
Yes, and I think it was a brilliant strategy. I can't imagine... you know what the best... I got to say, okay, so Trump embarrassed me when he was president last time. A lot. I liked some of the things he did, but I hated a lot of things that he did. And I liked that he did what he said he was going to do. I mean, he really did actually work and do what he said he was going to do. He just opened his mouth a few times too many, and I just couldn't stand it. Whenever he would talk, I would be like not wanting to hear what he was going to say because he would say something stupid. Whoever his campaign manager is, they got him under control now. And I think it's the best thing that it's... I've watched a lot of clips of him and he seems to be personable for the first time in the time that we've had him. So whoever put him in that position really thought long and hard about it. And I can't tell you how much it makes me happier that he is in, because I know he's going to have to win. He did it because he wanted to show, because he keeps saying Kamala didn't do it. It's
close.
Huh? What's that?
Yeah. Kamala claims that she worked at McDonald's in the 80s.
Yes.
And no one can verify it. So he's going around saying she never did it.
Right.
And so he goes to McDonald's and says, I have spent 15 more minutes working at McDonald's than Harris.
And it was funny watching him work there, too. It was like, oh, so this is how you do it? You never touch the fries? And he didn't have gloves on or anything, but he still did everything. And he did have fries touching his hand, and I noticed that. But,
Well, he's a germaphobe.
It was funny because he was saying, what about if they want more salt? Do I just throw more salt on there? It's just funny. I was laughing because I understood why he did it. Because she didn't. He has proof now that he did it. And even if it was only 15 minutes, he still did it 15 minutes more than she did. It was a brilliant move. I don't know who his campaign manager is, but whoever he is, he truly is a genius. And I got to say, boy, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I like Vance. I like J.D. Vance. He can answer questions. Someone asks him a question, he has an answer. He doesn't avoid the question, he has an answer. And that to me is good. I want to hear somebody answer my question. I don't want to hear him avoid the question. I don't want to hear him sidestep it. He didn't sidestep it. So I got to say that, in all honesty, I got to say that they have the stronger party. And I know my friend Rich and I don't agree on this at all because he doesn't want Trump in there because of all the, Nazi things that he keeps talking about. Not Trump talks about, but all the anti-Trumpers, first thing they do is they jump on the Nazi train, So it's just a... I think of the people that we have a choice of, it's clear cut to me who should be in there of the two. Now, if you threw another person in there, I might not agree. If there was a third candidate, I might agree with the third candidate, but there isn't. So I have to agree, and I'm probably going to have to, if I vote, it'll have to be for Trump. And if I get $1 million for it, then I'd, definitely vote for Trump.
Yeah, but the internet knows you and you're on a list, so you can't get through.
Yeah, that sucks because I wanted to get my $1 million.
The NSA has your IP address and is jamming your
They
signal.
blocked it. That's right. I was blocked. Sucks. I should have gotten something for that. But I'll tell you, it's like I said, they to me, whoever his campaign manager is, he's gotten through to Trump and said, you got to stop talking as much. You got to stop denigrating other people, and you got to be a person. You got to be relatable. And for the first time I've ever seen, he's actually relatable. He's talking to people, low income people, high income people. He's talking to all kinds of people, and he actually is sounding. I mean, he cut his things off early just so that he could dance for 40 minutes. You know, it's better than hearing him talk for 40 minutes because he's going to say something stupid if you let him talk. So I don't know. Maybe he's the one with the earpiece. Maybe someone's talking to him like, don't talk, let's dance, let's do something else. Because he's actually sounding like a decent guy when he's, you know. I don't know what to say about that other than that's the way I feel.
Well, many people have said in person, he is a charming, giving guy. And he visits people. There was this young boy whose make-a-wish was he wanted to meet Trump.
Wow.
And Trump shows up. He forbid the media from being anywhere around him.
Wow.
He wanted to see this young boy by himself. The only reason anybody knows this is because the parents put it out there.
Huh.
But Trump wasn't going to put it out there. See, these are the things the media doesn't report.
No, and when like I said, I've seen a totally different Trump. All I know is whatever they did with the original Trump, he can stay wherever he's at. I like the new Trump. I found him very interesting. So if it stays on this, I'll be happy. But
well, the left, you know what I mean by the left,
yeah.
Right? Okay, the left views the visit as a stunt.
Oh yeah, of course it is. It's not. He doesn't need a job. Maybe he will if he doesn't get president. He'll need a job, but he has experience now. I don't know. Like I said, it's definitely interesting to me that we've going to a kinder, gentler Trump. So I don't know if it's going to.
Go ahead.
I don't know if it's going to stay this way, but if it does, it'd be great if he actually stays personable.
Well, he's a wild card.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's going to do next.
That's the problem. I mean, he may.
So the right says the visit shows Trump in a favorable light, and reinforces the negative impacts of the Biden administration's policies on the working class.
Right.
So, it just depends on which direction you're looking.
Yeah.
And the left is never going to give him credit, no matter what he does.
True.
So.
That's true. And they'll find something to complain about it. I don't know. I am happy that we're not fighting the things we were fighting in the past. We're looking at different things. At least they can't. It sounds like he actually learned something about being diplomatic with the right people. And if he's going to be president, he's kind of got to do it. So.
Well, it was a staged event because the Secret Service was there the day before.
Well, yeah.
Scouting the whole thing out.
Yeah.
And the people that were coming through the drive-through
were
all vetted by the Secret Service.
And that's no surprise.
No surprise.
I'm not surprised
So
at all.
it was staged. Everything was staged.
But it doesn't need to be real. All it needs to do is just make an impact. And I don't think it was meant to be. It's not meant to be anything other than a parody on Kamala.
Yeah, that's
It was
what
meant to be a joke or a laughter. Look, I've done it, and she says she did it. She didn't do it. She can't prove it. I can. That's all it
She
was.
can't. She doesn't remember where the McDonald's was.
Well, that's because there's so few places that are McDonald's now. She couldn't find the one branch in that area when there's probably 10 branches in that area. So I don't know. I would have made it up or something, because no one really tracks those kind of things, I would think. There's people
No, even McDonald's says they don't have complete records of any of the workforce in the 1980s.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't computerized then.
Right. And some people would work there one day and then say, nope, not for me,
Yeah.
Or even, go for lunch and never come back. I totally get that, but all I could say is that I thought it was a brilliant stunt. It was an absolute brilliant stunt. So, what more can you ask for? Yeah. I saw it. I was rolling when I saw that. I was like, and it was on a lot of channels too. It was on a lot of YouTube channels. So
he got pressed for a whole day.
Oh yeah, that was, like I said, that was some of the things that I feel. Whoever was his campaign manager did the right thing. They knew what they have to hit. They knew the areas that people care about, and I don't know. I think that if he stays in this frame, he'll be okay. Oh, I mean, the lefts are never going to like him. It doesn't matter. They're going to, when he gets elected, they're going to do the same thing they did last time. They're going to try to impeach him for everything under the sun, and it's just going to be a nightmare. I've never seen someone hated by the other side so much as him. So they've never, ever tried to do this to anyone that I've ever seen. And, it just is crazy.
And it's because they've tried all their tricks.
Yeah.
And Trump has risen above all their tricks.
Yeah, but I like this version.
He's Teflon. Nothing can stick.
I like this version so much better than the last version now. You got to admit, the last version was a little embarrassing.
Well, that's why I hesitated to vote for him, because of the other version. I found it offensive.
Yeah.
But, he has changed. So.
And he did.
I've already voted, so.
Well, I didn't yet. And now that I got that message from, Yeah, from Brett Favre. Now, if it was, if they really wanted to get me to vote, it wouldn't have been Brett Favre. It would have been
Hulk.
Huh? No. It would have been the Patriots guy. Freaking A! I can't.
Tom Brady?
Yeah, if Tom Brady would have called me, I would have been right there, because he's my hero. I can't remember his name half the time, but he's my hero. You know why? Because he's just like me. Everyone said you're washed up, and they didn't believe in me. They got rid of me, and now I'm stronger than ever. And that's the same way with him. You can't win any more Super Bowls. Okay, well, watch me. He wins in another Super Bowl, he's the man. You can't be any more than shoving it in their face when you win another Super Bowl right after they can you. So, all right, what's your other topics?
Well, okay, that's good. Do you know Yahya Sinwar? Do you know who that is?
He was with the Bee Gees, right?
Yes, he was the lead singer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The last Bee Gees guy died. I got to do an obituary for him.
You got to do R.I.P.
Yeah, I just remembered he died. Last guy.
Well, Yahya was head of Hamas.
Okay.
And he's been hiding in the tunnels for over a year.
Jeez.
Underneath he and his family. And so he had come out of the tunnels and had been on the surface, and he had 2 bodyguards with him. And it just so happened that a 19-year-old Israeli soldier saw the gunman and Sinwar, but they had no idea that it was Sinwar. And they chased him, killed his 2 bodyguards, and then the young kid came into a room that Sinwar was hiding in and shot him.
Wow.
Right? He was the head of Hamas.
Wow.
But you know what they found when they found his where he was staying?
Huh.
They found $1 million in cash in safes.
Wow. I'll bet you he
His
wrote it.
His wife had a $3,000 handbag.
I think I'll bet you he wrote it. He voted for Trump, and that was probably Elon's money.
You know, here's the thing. He said they asked him, "What are you going to do about all the people that are being killed in Gaza, all the Palestinians that are dying?"
Yeah.
All right, and he said necessary. What did he say? But he was saying they were necessary. It was necessary for them to die to further the cause.
Jeez.
Children, babies. He didn't care. He didn't care at all.
That's crazy.
But anyhow, the other thing he did is he had 6 hostages that he had surrounding him, and they lived on protein bars. That's all they got.
Wow.
And when he was ready to move, they were so weak that they just shot him all.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's sick.
It is. I would have never even... Jeez, that's just... I don't even know what to think about that. Wow.
The hope is that his replacement will want to get a ceasefire.
Yeah.
Because Sinwar did not want a ceasefire. But who knows?
Wow.
Leadership in Hamas and Hezbollah is not something to vie for because Israel keeps killing all the leadership.
Yeah.
They track them down and kill them. So the life expectancy of a leader for Hamas or Hezbollah is very short.
I would imagine that not too many people were lining up for that.
No, I don't think they are.
I know I wouldn't want to.
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it is hoped that this will lead to a ceasefire, but who knows?
Yeah.
Just who knows? Do you know who Bibi Netanyahu is?
Yes, he came over to help clean up the Florida stuff, according to Biden. That's what Biden said.
That's what Biden said. Yes, he did. Well, he's the premier of Israel. He's the head dog. And he has a home along the shore. And he, in Lebanon, the Hezbollah sent 3 drones towards his home. 2 got shot down. 1 made it all the way to his bedroom window.
Oh, jeez.
Bibi was not there. Bibi and his wife were not there at the time. But there's a lot of damage done to his house.
Right.
They tried to assassinate him, and they got one drone through.
Wow.
So that's pretty awkward.
Yeah, I would imagine. Jeez.
So they raided a Hezbollah. Now, Hezbollah's to the north in Lebanon. I don't know if you know the geography.
No, I don't.
But, okay, to the north of Israel is Lebanon, the country of Lebanon. And Lebanon is infested with a group called Hezbollah.
Okay.
Which is funded solely by Iran. Iran is to the east of there's Israel, Iraq, Syria, and then Iran.
Okay.
So they are funding both Hamas. If you look at a map of Israel, there's a piece cut out along the coast, and it's called Gaza, and it runs down to halfway from the country, halfway through Israel. It runs down to the Egyptian border to the south.
Okay.
And that is where Hamas was leading, and they are funded by Iran.
Okay.
And they both want Iran to get into the fight. But the leader of Iran says, well, we don't really want Israel to attack us because that would bring fervor on the people and they might overthrow us. So we really don't want to help you do that. We'll fund you to keep the fight up, but we really don't want to start a fight.
Jeez.
So, well, anyhow, the Israeli army is fighting on two fronts, and they went up into Lebanon. They crossed the border and go up into Lebanon, and they find the command center of Hezbollah. There are millions and millions of dollars in this place. They've been hoarding money left and right.
Wow.
Their leadership is rich as anything. Now, some of their leaders are dead. They've been assassinated. But whoever becomes leader has access to all that money.
Jeez.
So what's happening is the leadership of Hamas, the top 3 people of Hamas, is living in Qatar, up in penthouses.
Okay.
And all 3 are separately worth over billions. They're worth over billions of dollars.
Wow.
And they're untouchable because they're in Qatar.
Okay.
Or Qatar, depending on how you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Right?
I never knew how it was pronounced, but
it's just Israel's got a fight in its hands. Now, Iran attacked Israel with 180 missiles. Only a few got through. So Israel is going to respond. They had a plan. They brought it over to show the intelligence departments in the United States. Someone leaked it.
Oh, wow.
Someone in the intelligence department leaked it. They are hunting for him or her. They're trying to figure out who it was because that's a federal offense. And there's a lot of time to be served for doing that.
Jeez.
So it's a mess, man. And we're waiting for Israel's response. And it could trigger a major war. But see, Iran has nuclear sites. They have oil sites. And they have military sites. The Biden administration does not want them to hit the oil because that was raised gas prices in the United States.
Right.
They don't want them to hit nuclear because they're scared that Iran will build a bomb as quickly as possible. Plus, the nuclear sites are built inside mountains, and they're basically untouchable.
Jeez.
Right? They're hardened. They call it hardened. And so the only thing left for Israel is, according to the Biden administration, is military sites. That's what they want to hit. But Bibi just got a possibility of an assassination. So Bibi has said all bets are off. They could hit the oil, and that will mean higher prices in the United States for gas. Not before the election, but after the election.
Right.
It'll be it'll be higher prices. So the other thing that the Biden administration is doing is they're trying to get a peace deal with Hezbollah because they won it before the election. They're trying furiously to get it before the election because they want Harris to say she was the one that got it.
Right. Yeah.
Where Harris has nothing to do with it.
Right. Well, she was at McDonald's at that time.
She was at McDonald's. Yes.
Jeez.
So that's what's going on in the world, man. That's what's going on in the world. Now, I have something else to talk about.
Yeah.
The death penalty.
The what?
The death penalty.
Death penalty, okay.
How do you feel about the death penalty, Mike?
Well, I believe that it's important to look at the death penalty for certain things. Yes, I do. I believe I'm pro-death penalty under certain circumstances.
Okay. The first recorded execution in America was in 1608 when Captain George Kendall was executed for acting as a spy.
Okay.
Okay. And he was hung. That's the longest type of execution you can have.
Yeah.
It's supposed to instantly break your neck.
Right.
But it doesn't always happen. People hang struggling to breathe.
Right.
It's kind of sick. I'm not saying that person shouldn't have been executed. I'm just saying.
Well, back then they didn't have a lot of options. I guess that's
bomb squad.
Yeah, but I would imagine back in that time, munitions were not cheap, and it would be a lot cheaper just to do it that way. I mean, think about the French used to use the guillotine. That's quick, but it's bloody. I don't know. I don't know. I think that when it's a situation like, let's say we talk about someone who absolutely, positively murdered people and without a shadow of a doubt can't be rehabilitated. Okay, Manson, for instance. Well, he didn't kill anybody, though. He just was crazy. But he was never going to be a part of our society. So a person like Manson, we should have never kept him in jail for all those years. He should have been just killed. That's my opinion. Well, I feel that if there's a situation where you have insanity, if they were insane, they will probably always be insane, unless they're fake insane. But I have a weird feeling about a weird way I would look at things like that. But in the same sense, I would have probably killed the Menendezes, and I could have been wrong for that. So for me, I'm not really the best person to pick for that because I'm not as forgiving for a lot of the crimes as some people. But maybe I'm more forgiving for other people. I don't know. I really believe that I don't believe in keeping people in jail for long periods of time because, for instance, there's one that actually I'm going to talk about today. I think she's in here. Susan Smith. So let's talk about her because we're talking about that. You know who Susan Smith is?
No.
Okay, there was a woman in the 90s who she wanted this guy real bad. But the guy that she wanted didn't want kids. She had 2 kids. So she killed her 2 kids. She drove her car into the lake and the kids drowned in their car seats. She is up for parole. It's 30 years later. I don't think she should ever get out. I think she should be killed. I think she should have been killed alongside of her kids. They should have actually put her in the car seat and drove her car back into the water and left her drown because she left her kids drown. The one was just 6 months old and the other one was like a little over a year old. Maybe 2 years. He might have been 3 years. But regardless, 2 innocent kids were drowned because she wanted to get rid of her kids so she could be with this guy. Okay, that's a person that can't be rehabilitated. So that's a person I would have said, there's no reason for you to be around. Would you marry a girl like that? Probably not.
Probably not.
I might because I didn't want to have kids, but no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't trust her though. I would never trust anyone like that again. I don't care how much therapy. I don't care how much the girl's rehabilitated. The fact of the matter is, her kids are dead because she killed her kids. And someone that would kill your own kids I couldn't trust that person. No one should be. I think that, in my honest opinion, she should have been fed to the death penalty. So you said, what's my opinion? There's my opinion. When there is no doubt, no shadow of a doubt, absolutely, she should be one. What about you?
Well,
I don't expect you to agree with that, because I know that you, being a minister, you're probably not going to agree to that.
Well, I'll get to that. I'm trying to build a case for my opinion.
Okay.
But don't misread me.
Okay.
Okay? I believe the Bible allows for the death penalty.
Really? Huh.
Yes.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have said that.
Yes. Because when Jesus says, do not murder, that word in the Greek means murder. It doesn't mean state-sanctioned execution.
Okay. But somebody has to be responsible for that murder, or for that execution. That would make them a murderer.
And that's the state. The state has that right. And when this country was a lot more Christian, executions were a lot more, happened a lot more often. Now, there's a whole sector of Christianity that does not believe what I just said. They believe that executions are murder.
Okay.
And Jesus said, do not murder. But that's not what it is in the Greek.
Okay.
And they're wrong.
Okay.
So I believe that capital punishment is allowed by the Bible.
Okay.
Right, so don't get me wrong.
Oh, no.
Right? When I'm reading you this stuff that I'm going to read to you,
Okay.
I'm just trying to paint a picture. It took a couple of 100 years, Mike, for hangings to be deemed cruel. Okay, and then Thomas Edison secretly developed the electric chair.
Okay.
Right?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did it secretly. He didn't want anybody to know. And the first man to sit in an electric chair was a William Keimer. When they pushed the button or pulled the lever to connect the chair to the electricity, it took 17 seconds of him being burned to death in that chair.
Okay.
Okay. He was alive and in great pain.
Okay.
And the onlookers lost their stomachs smelling of burnt flesh.
Well, yeah, I would imagine. What did he do? What did he do?
Let's see. He was convicted of murder.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there are people that would say, so what? He got what he deserved.
Yeah.
And I'm not debating that.
Yeah.
I'm not debating that.
Okay.
But it seems cruel to me that he had to suffer like that. But he's a murderer.
Yeah, I mean, if he killed somebody, how long did it take them to die in what they were,
Yeah.
I at one time I didn't believe in the death penalty, but I've since then decided that there's a lot of evil people. There's a lot of people that don't care how they kill somebody, and some people like to see the people suffer. I personally think that if you are killing somebody on purpose, ahead of time that you're going to kill them on purpose. If you have a car accident and somebody dies, that's one thing. But if you have a car accident and you cause the car accident on purpose to kill somebody, that's another thing. And to me, if you actually caused someone that kind of pain, then you deserve to die too.
In the Old Testament, it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
Sure. I don't know if I believe that in particular, because some people, didn't mean to put out an eye or didn't mean to pull a tooth or whatever it is. They may not have, in that situation. But if they did,
the scripture speaks to that.
Right. Okay.
Here's the thing: if two men are fighting, and one pregnant woman gets hurt, if it's accidental, okay, the person is not stoned to death.
Okay.
Right. If it's purposeful and the baby dies, that's instant death penalty right there on the spot. There's no trial.
Should be no
nothing.
I agree with that.
It's instant death penalty.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is Old Testament, and a lot of people say in the New Testament everything's changed. Let me just read you about the there's been over 4,000 people killed by electrocution since 1890 up to 2010, and there's a 1.9% botch rate. That is when it goes wrong.
Okay.
Right, and the 17-year-old Willie Francis was electrocuted, and it didn't work, and he said, "I am not dying." He screamed it.
Oh.
"I am not dying."
Oh, that's not a happy ending there.
So he appealed to the Supreme Court on the grounds that going back to the chair would be unconstitutional, lost his case 5-4. He went back to the electric chair a few months later, and that time his execution was successful.
I mean, personally, I don't feel sorry for that guy, though, because if he did indeed kill someone else on purpose, I can't feel bad for him.
Well, here's another one. The first lethal gas execution started in Nevada in 1924, and there was this Chinese national and member of a criminal society. The practitioners botched the first attempt, though, when they tried to pump the gas into this guy's cell while he was asleep. Instead, the gas stayed on the floor, and where it harmlessly leaked out of his cell. Undeterred, they decided to create a gas chamber. In the gas chamber, the prisoners sealed inside an airtight chamber, and then the gas is pumped in. It is I want to say it. I want to say this word and I can't say it. Anyhow, it's in carbon dioxide and some other gases, which puts the prisoner into a conscious state and then chokes them to death.
Okay.
Right? Jimmy Lee Gray in 1983 spent 8 minutes gasping for air before the wardens cleared the room of witnesses to his execution.
Okay.
Donald Harding in 1992 took 11 minutes to die in a gas chamber.
Okay.
An experience that was so traumatic, the prison warden vowed that he would quit using this practice permanently.
Okay.
Okay. These are the things that are botched. The guy writing this article is not anti-gas, not anti capital punishment.
Okay.
What he's saying is that until we find something that works 100% painlessly every time, we shouldn't execute people.
I think
that's what he's doing.
I think that if we don't have a deterrent, like someone knowing that they're going to die painfully, they're going to be more likely to do it. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, though, because people aren't usually thinking about being caught when they're thinking of doing things like this. So,
or they're not thinking of the consequences, right?
Right. But as far as I'm concerned, once you kill somebody, you lost the right to die painlessly. I don't know. I just feel that if someone killed someone on purpose, they shouldn't have they should lose the right to. I don't know. I think however they end up dying because the person that they killed didn't have that choice. The person that they killed didn't have the choice to die one way or another. And some of these people kill pretty ruthlessly. I mean, sometimes they like to see people, especially the ones that like to see people suffer. Those people, without a doubt, deserve to suffer themselves. So I don't know. I don't know why I'm so adamant about this, but because I didn't have anybody die.
Michael, you don't have to apologize.
Yeah, but in a way, I feel as a believer, I shouldn't feel that way. I feel that maybe shouldn't be the right way to do things because. But I do believe that there should be a deterrent. There should be. You should feel not only sorry, but you should know that you're going to pay for something like this. You know, if it just. Like I said, when I was younger, I didn't believe this, but I really believe it as I am older now. I really do, especially the people that cause people great pain in their own lives. I mean, if you're someone that rapes someone and kills someone, why should you be able to die without pain? You've caused that person for the rest of their life before they died to have to go through that. And stop it now. I'm gonna have 2 dogs I'm gonna have to kill here. Go lay down. Go lay down. Lay down. To me, that person that got killed, that had to endure that kind of thing, you didn't give them that chance. They had to suffer. And there are some people that actually like to see people suffer. And why should they get off just dying quietly and without pain? I just believe that, like this Susan girl, I feel that she killed both of her kids, and they had to die. They had to drown, so they didn't die just. She pulled into the car and they died. They died in a car that was sinking, and the fear that they had to go through while they were dying. I mean, there's no good reason. At least if she dies because you inject her with something, she didn't have to go through the fear and the suffering of being choked to death by water. You know, I just don't know why she would be. Why did she get that and her kids didn't? You know, that to me is unforgivable. So that's my opinion.
Well, so electrocution has pretty much stopped in America. Now let's talk about lethal injection for a minute. This is in the cover story of The Atlantic, 2015. This guy wrote, named Jeffrey Stern. He was involved in lethal injection. He helped. Anyhow, he wrote this in the Atlantic. What many people don't realize, however, is that choosing the specific drugs and doses involves as much guesswork as expertise. In many cases, the person responsible for selecting the drugs has no medical training. Sometimes that person is a lawyer, a state attorney general, or an attorney for the prison. These officials base their confidence that a certain drug will work largely on the fact that it has seemed to work in the past. So naturally, they prefer not to experiment with new drugs. In recent years, however, they have been forced to do so. There's this guy, Charles Burke Jr., was the first prisoner to be executed by injection in '82 with a lethal dose of sodium pentothal. Right? Okay. 35 states and the U.S. military have adopted lethal injections. About 8 states have ended the practice. Okay. 1,419 people have been killed by this method, not including the 74 botched executions.
Wow.
Okay. It's pretty bad.
But you see, again, I have no sympathy for those people because they killed somebody. And what about the people that they killed? How did they kill those people? A lot of those people didn't get any kind of mercy. So why should we give those people mercy? So let them suffer. You know, if they're gonna do the crime, they don't deserve any let them die mercifully. Why? They didn't. You know, these people did not. You know, especially think about Dahmer. Think about Dahmer. We kept him alive for how many years, and he killed a lot of people, and he didn't kill them very nicely. You know, you think about the people those people should not get any kind of consideration whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned.
In the Constitution, there's a clause that says cruel and unusual punishment.
I know, and that sucks. It should be taken out of there. Well, I mean, it should be. There should not. We should not even. This should not even be a discussion. If someone does one of those things, does something where they qualify for death, you got to do something really bad to qualify for death. And so, in those cases where they qualify for death, I have no mercy for someone that qualifies for death. If it's somebody that had a car accident and so maybe they drunk drove, okay, maybe, okay, I'm not going to be as, you know, you can give them an ejection unless they killed several people several times. Like for instance, this one woman who was she was the hottest wrestling woman in the 90s, and when her boyfriend died, she went crazy and was caught with. She's been caught drinking and driving. She's been caught drugs. She's been caught both. And then the last thing that she did was she had a car accident that killed somebody. And she had many offenses where she was pulled over, she lost her license, and she kept driving anyway. Okay, that person that died at her hands, he had no say in dying, and he had absolutely, and they had had multiple problems with her, where she kept driving without a license because she had been drunk driving. I have no sympathy for her now because she killed somebody. Before, when she just had accidents and stuff, I had less sympathy than I had than a normal person. I had some sympathy for her because I thought all she needed was the right guidance, but she kept continuing even after people tried to help her. She just had a death wish. I mean, she's now in jail, and she's going to be in jail probably for 20 years if she lives that long. And
how old was she?
She's got to be in her. I would say she's got to be close to 50, if not just a little over 50. But she spun out of control. When her boyfriend and her were alive, they were doing major drugs, and then he cleaned up, and then he had an accident in Florida where he busted his leg or something like that, and he should have stayed home, but instead he wanted to be home with his family for Thanksgiving, and he flew back, and he had a blood clot while he flew and died. And he had been clean for a little while, and after that she just went off the rails and just constantly was in the papers for, you know, drunk driving or driving under the influence or drugs, and she just wouldn't clean up, and that went for a good probably 15 years after he died, and then she finally killed somebody. You know, we saw it coming. Everybody saw it coming. But that poor guy died. And so do I feel sorry for her? I did at the beginning, but not till she killed somebody. And now I don't, because she had plenty of chances to change her life. And I have no idea if she's never going to get out. She'll die. She'll die in there. And if she doesn't die in there, I'd be surprised. But I mean, why keep somebody around that doesn't want to live that bad? I mean, that she just constantly is, no matter what, she spun out of control, and she's never going to be a positive role model. She's never going to be a contributing part to a society. And to me, that's really what I would consider a determining factor, is if they're constantly in trouble for the same thing for 10, 15, 20 years, they're not going to just miraculously change. And that person that died, he's not going to come back because she changed and became a better person. So I still, A, believe that she should have died, and B, I don't care if she dies by a mishap, or if it takes her 15 minutes to die. That guy died, and he didn't want to die. And she caused him to die. And so, I don't know. That's one thing that I really feel, honestly, that there really is only one solution to some of these people's problems, because they're not going to fix it on their own. And if they reached out for an issue, if she reached out for to try to help, to try to be helped, that'd be one thing. Or if someone talked her into doing it, and then she miraculously became aware of what she was doing and fixed her problem. But she killed somebody. I believe you can fix someone even if you kill somebody, but if you're going on for years and years and it's just continuing, it's not going to make it. Nobody's, like, when she gets out of jail, she's going to be probably 70. Okay, what's she going to do at 70 except live off the system, which she was doing all the time?
She'll live off the system.
And
that's what she's doing now.
And she's going to still continue her way of feeling sorry for herself, to the point where she's going to do more damage again. So at what point does it stop? There's got to be a point that it stops. So you got to stop her. So in the case of that, and she's not even someone that viciously killed people like there are so many of those. People that hate other people. Let's talk about, if you want to talk, okay, so let's talk about racists. Let's talk about the Proud Boys that go out and kill people just because of their color. They're never going to change. They're always going to be the same way. So why should we help them stay alive when they've already, maybe killed people, hung people, whatever they did to kill people because of the color of their skin? So how do you think they should die? Well, they didn't think about that when they were hanging somebody for being black or whatever it was. I just don't think that mercy killing is really something we should be concerned about. We should be concerned about getting them off this planet, and that by any means necessary is the way I feel. For someone like that, someone that's that evil, and someone that's never going to change because that's the way they were brought up, and they are going to stay in that mindset. Well, while they're in that mindset, they're going to still hurt more people. And so I don't really feel that we should be concerned about their well-being while they're dying. So if it takes 15 minutes for them to die, they're going to be in pain for 15 minutes. And that could have been, they could have killed somebody that took more than 15 minutes. If they shot somebody and left them on the road, they're going to be there dying for who knows how long. Why should we have mercy on them?
Well, God is full of mercy.
God is, but we shouldn't be. Not if they're going to be an evil person and do all those things that they've done wrong. I don't know.
I've said, Mike, I'm not disagreeing with
you. I mean,
I
really can't believe I'm saying these words, but I really am saying these words, and I really do feel to a certain degree that 90% of the people that are complaining about dying like that have killed people have nothing. They, rather than fine them $10,000, let's just kill them. It'll be a lot less than paying for their way to be alive, so they can be in jail, so that they can have riots in jail because they don't agree with someone, or whatever it is. Jail's not. I don't think jail's a deterrent. I mean, it is for me.
It is in certain people, but it isn't in others.
It is to me. I mean, I don't want to go to jail. I don't.
Right.
But if you're brought up in a situation where your dad went to jail, your uncle went to jail, your mother went to jail, your sister went to jail, your brother went to jail, that's nothing to you because it's all around you. You've seen it before. But if you've never been in trouble, like myself, you don't want to go. And you don't want to go for any reason, and you're going to do your best to not go. But if you've been there, it's just another day. Someone that's been a multiple offender in things isn't going to change. I don't know. I'll hang up my my thing, and that's I've said everything. Mic drop. That's it. I may not believe that if I was in that same chair, but I'm not going to kill anybody unless they come after me. And if they come after me, then no holds barred. But if I were put in jail because someone came after me and I killed them, that's a whole different thing.
So what would you say when statistically more blacks are given the death penalty than whites?
I would say that it's, I would have to, the death penalty is the death penalty. I mean, as far as, I don't think...
But it also has a lot to do with the quality of the lawyer, defense lawyer.
That's why I said, when you're talking about the death penalty, they had to have killed somebody in a violent manner or killed somebody, a repeat offender on things. And it shouldn't be, it can't, I mean, it's that there's not a simple answer to something like this. I'm making it simple by saying, oh, you should just kill him. But really, the bottom line is there is no simple answer. There is no answer that one size fits all, because there's always circumstances beyond what I'm thinking, and I'm sure there's circumstances that I would change my mind on. Someone was forced to do it, or else their wife was going to be killed. Whatever it was, there's always movie plots that could be real that could cause people to do things that they didn't want to do. There is no one size fits all, but this is my gut feeling. I believe that it should be more the rule than if we're talking about that someone is going, okay, if we're talking about somebody that's going for the death penalty, they had to do something pretty bad to get there. So at that point, I'm more apt to say, I don't care how they die. But if someone killed somebody accidentally,
They usually don't get the death penalty.
Yeah, but you're saying, what about the black people more often die than, or get put in for the. I would have to make sure that they are indeed being prosecuted for legitimate reasons. If you're told that you got to kill somebody or else your wife dies, and then you don't know how to do this, what do? Do you want your wife to die? I mean, if you're talking about the hard and fast rule where you killed somebody, so you got to die too, you can't really. I mean, there's a lot of things that are that it's not always cut and dry as far as that goes, but I think the majority of them are.
Okay, how about the people that have been exonerated with DNA? 185 inmates have been exonerated and released from death row since 1973. It's about 4 people on death row exonerated every year.
Well, with that, I would say we maybe have to put... I think we would have to put a situation where there has to be, let's say, there has to be a DNA test. And if they're older than that, we don't put them to death unless there's no doubt whatsoever. I think going forward, it'd be a lot easier to have DNA testing done. So anyone with that. But if you talk about someone they just DNA tested, what was that? I had seen something that was, the DNA tested something that was like 200 years old, and said that, oh, that is his. I'm trying to remember what that was from. Oak Island, I think it was something that they found something. I think if you're talking about going forward, there has to be no shadow of a doubt for this. So if
well, let's talk about Menendez brothers.
Yeah, I mean, they would have, in my opinion, way back then, I believe they should have got the death penalty. But there was no DNA testing then.
Correct.
So
now new evidence has come to light.
Right.
That they may have in fact killed them for self-defense.
Well, they still killed someone.
But self-defense.
Yes. And so there's nothing we can do about giving their lives back that they lost. I mean, the time that they lost. That's why I said going forward with DNA testing, if we have no shadow of a doubt, there's no doubt that someone killed somebody for that period of time. Those are the people I'm talking about. We couldn't do that with what's his face either. The guy I was talking about that killed people, and he's dead now, so it doesn't matter anyway. But that's a tough one. I mean, I don't know how we could do that where there's no doubt whatsoever without the DNA testing or a confession. Now, the people that confessed, sorry about your luck, but, you did say you did it. So then you end up dying for lying. So, I don't know. It's a tough question, and I can't imagine there's probably a lot more than I think, people on death row that we can't DNA test at this point. I would imagine.
This year, Mike, 19 people have been executed, 2 by nitrogen gas and 17 by lethal injections. There's 8 more people that are scheduled to die by the end of the year. Doesn't seem like a lot, does it?
Well, I mean, it does.
One of the things about the death penalty is you can sit on death row for 40 years before they'll execute you if you have enough appeals going on.
Right. And what else do you got to do? Pretty much.
Well, when I was, I think I said this before, but when I was worked at a prison, I got, one of my things was B block, where the hardened criminals were that were going upstate. And many murderers were there over the time I was there, in between being sentenced and between going upstate, they would be in B block. Mike, and some of them, you look into their eyes and they're soulless.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just knew they were guilty just by looking in their eyes.
I think to a certain degree, when you stay in one of those places for that long, you can't put them back in the population. I mean, even if they were innocent, if they were stuck in there for 20 years, whatever years it would be, they're going to be angry. Now, some people are not, I mean, I can't say that for everyone, but there are going to be a lot of people that have that soulless look in their eyes at any point. It's at some point that we all feel that way, I think. When you think life is just, there's just nothing left. There's nothing left to fight for. There's nothing left to live for. And you got to have something to live for, something to fight for, or what's the purpose, You can learn all you want to learn, but if you can't ever use it, you're stuck in a hole where you can't ever go anywhere.
Okay. A Susquehanna University report found that, on average, across every state, death row inmates cost the public $1.12 million more than a general population inmate. Costs a lot more money to put someone on death row than just put them in general population. In July 2018, there were 2,738 inmates on death row. That's almost $3 billion in additional expense than if they had been sentenced to life in prison instead. See, when I read that, I was shocked because I thought it was much more expensive to put somebody in for life.
But again, what's the point in putting someone on death row without killing them for 20 years, whatever? Why would we keep someone on death row for 20 years?
Because of appeals.
Yeah, but if we know they did it, we know DNA
because of
wise.
appeals.
I think that there's a point where we just got to say, okay, we're done. No more.
Supreme Court says that, or the highest court in the state says that.
Yeah,
right?
I think that the problem is that we're keeping people alive a lot longer than they should be. Because if they do get out, if they don't get out, okay, we've kept them there for ever and ever without them contributing to society in any way whatsoever, except in a negative way, because we got to keep them alive by feeding them, and there's times that we know, again with DNA, we should know whether or not they did it. We should know. We know whether or not a woman was raped by checking DNA. We know whether or not a guy, there's certain things that we do know. And if that's without a shadow of a doubt, if we know that person did that, at this time and age where we have some type of truth with DNA or whatever, why are we keeping them alive when we know they did it? I just don't see any point in it. At some point, there's a point where it just is ridiculous, and we're at that point with a lot of places. We're at that point with a lot of people that we should have done something by now with. If someone's in jail for 20 years on death row, why? Because we know they did it. There's got to be, if we can show him that there's proof that they absolutely did it. I know there's a lot of people that say, well, we shouldn't kill them because it's not fair, it's not right, oh, they have too much pain. Again, what about the people they killed? We got to stop being sympathetic to the killer and be sympathetic. What about the person's family who they killed? What are they going through every time that they come up for a parole? I know someone who was in a robbery, and they were told that in the hearing, the one guy admitted that they were going to kill everyone that was at that store that they were robbing. It didn't happen that way because one of the people foiled it for them. But two of the three people, I think, if I'm not mistaken, two of the three people are out of jail now. And the one person, I believe, is still in jail, the guy that was going to kill everybody, but he gets up for parole every once in a while. Do you realize every time that happens, the people that were in that scenario where they could have been killed, and they probably would have been killed had that not been foiled, do you realize that those people have to relive that every time that they have to come up with a hearing when it's guaranteed? I mean, the guy confessed they were going to kill them. And
well, it says in this article that the third and final reason is the idea of a society's right to provide equal retribution for the victims of these horrible crimes. While the death penalty may offer peace to some families of victims have spoken out against the death penalty, often trying to stop states from killing the perpetrators of crimes against their loved ones because it harms the healing process. Some of these families are re-traumatized by the executions.
I think some of these families may be traumatized by that, but some of the families are also traumatized by each time the person comes up for parole. And each time that they have to relive, is that guy going to come out? Is that guy going to get off and now be able to come out and kill me? Are they going to be able to come out, find me? You know, I'm lucky that I haven't had that situation, but I know somebody that is in that situation. And I know somebody that rarely leaves their house because they know that if they wanted to find, if that person gets out of jail and they wanted to find them, they could probably find them. And there would be nothing anybody can do about it. Because if that guy says, "Whoa, I'm so mad, I've been in jail for 20 years now, I can't wait till I get out because I'm going to kill everybody that I know that I was in there," they can find them. And that's why the longer they're in there, the longer they're in there, the more I don't want them out. Because if you're in jail for 2 years and you get out, okay. If you're in jail for 20 years and you get out, okay, you're going to be a little more angry, and you know. So I can't stand for that because I know someone in that situation.
This is the third one is that there is little evidence that the death penalty is effective deterrent against crime.
Doesn't have to be. It deters that person that actually committed the crime originally to not ever commit another crime. That's all that matters. As long as that one person's off the street, that one person that's a killer is off the street, that he will not kill anyone else. That's all I need. I don't care about the rest of the people because they didn't do me wrong. But that one person is the only one I worry about.
Well, so I haven't given you my theory yet.
Okay.
I am not against the death penalty, but I am for not practicing it right now because of the reasons that were stated. Specifically, too many blacks are there against whites. And number two is DNA testing. That's the only reason I hesitate.
DNA testing, I would say, if you can prove with DNA that the person did the stuff, that's all I would need. That would solidify. That would put the last nail in the coffin, if they deserve a coffin.
Okay.
And I don't care if they suffer when they die because no one cared if they didn't care if any people suffered when they killed them.
Now my other answer is I would like to go into death row and witness the gospel of Jesus Christ to these people so that they can get saved and go to heaven, which seems grossly unfair, before they die. Right? So I'm not saying that I want to alleviate their sentence, but I'd like to witness the gospel to them because that's what I do.
Yeah, and I understand that, and that's fine. That would be okay. You can talk to them all you want before they die. Just let them die. In fact, that may be enough punishment to them.
Yeah. Listen to me trying to win them over to Christ.
Yeah. That may be after about the 10th one, you might say, I might have to rethink this one.
Okay, do you know who Daniel Perry is?
Steve Perry's brother? I don't know.
Yeah, Steve is his brother. And he has a sister named Margaret.
Okay.
Now, Do you remember the guy in New York City that entered a subway car and started threatening and being very scary? And there was this guy named Daniel Perry who was an ex-Marine, and he grabbed him, put him down into a chokehold, and held him. And after his body was limp, still had him in a chokehold. 2 other people were helping to hold this man down.
Okay.
He has been charged with manslaughter and criminal neglect of homicide. Well, anyhow, the jury selection has started this week.
Oh, okay.
Okay? There is a big divide in the United States about whether this guy is guilty or not.
Wow. Okay, so what did the guy do? He was threatening people?
He was threatening people on the subway car.
Did he have any weapons?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a shift.
Guilty.
Well, here's the thing. Daniel Perry said that he was trying to subdue him.
Yes, I don't think he's guilty.
He held him in a chokehold for about 30 minutes after his body went limp.
Yeah, but he's a Marine. He said he was in the armed forces.
Yes.
Innocent. He did what he was supposed to do. There were a bunch of people there. He was protecting the people that were there. And because the other idiot was stupid enough to make those threats, he was trying to protect everybody in the car. There's no simple. Simple. He's innocent. And if anybody doesn't see it that way, then they're morons. No, seriously. I mean, if someone's he's taking
lot in the country that doesn't see it that way.
I know.
Do you know who doesn't see it that way?
Probably the
Black
Democrats.
Population, because the black population.
Well,
and Democrats.
It has nothing to do with color, though. If the guy made the threats to the people in the car, and this person stepped up, it's not a color thing. You can't really bring color into it. If a white guy did that, what would you say? I would say it would do the same thing. I didn't know the guy was black. It didn't matter to me that the guy was black. It matters to me that the guy actually made those threats to a car full of people. I think we can throw the race card out because really he didn't hold the guy because he was black. He held the guy because he threatened people.
It's not how blacks see it.
I understand, but
not all blacks. Not all.
But I mean, did any of those people come to his aid?
I don't know if the car had any blacks in it or not. All I know is that the people that are going to testify from the subway car are calling this guy a hero.
Yeah, that's what he was. He saved their lives. Who knows what that guy would have done? He may have done nothing. He may have just been insane. He may have just been But if he indeed did that, you were doing it at the wrong place at the wrong time, and somebody took you down. If you make that threat.
Usually this guy was a Michael Jackson impersonator in the subway.
Well, I don't know if Michael Jackson
and he
would
was
have been.
Crazy, but he was crazy. There's no doubt about it. This man was not right.
Well, I think it should be an open shut case, because there's a lot of people, especially if they call in the people that were in the car to testify. The guy did what he should have done, and he protected the people in that car. Because who knows what that person would have done? Who knows if he had a knife, if he had a gun, if he had, if he just had bad words. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't matter. If you make a threat to me, if you're threatening to kill me and you come towards me, I'm going to do my best to take you down. And a hero, he's going to step up and make sure that everybody's okay. And you said he was in the armed forces. That tells me right there, he wasn't being a bully. He was protecting people.
Yep.
Because that's his
job.
job.
I'm going to follow this trial.
Yeah, let me know, because I actually want to follow it too. It really sounds like Sounds like he's going to have to. It's a shame
What
that.
we have is we have the left against the right.
Yeah.
People on the right think he's a hero.
Well,
People on the left think he's a murderer.
Well, when Trump gets in there, Trump will step up and say, "Let him go."
Could pardon him.
Yeah,
Trump might pardon
after he
him.
pardons himself, he'll pardon the guy. No, but really, serious. Well, what do you think? Okay, let's talk about what you think. What do you think?
Unless something comes up to the contrary, okay, I think he's a hero.
Yeah. Yeah, because he said, I don't know how many people were in the car, but even if there was one other person in the car, or even if it was just him, it doesn't matter. If the guy's making threats to somebody, you got to step up, and you don't know what people are going to do nowadays. Nowadays, there's lots of crazy people out there doing crazy stuff, and you know, this is one of those things that you can't be sympathetic for the guy that caused the issue to begin with. If someone's trying to be a bully, whatever it is, you can't be sympathetic for the bad guy all the time. And that's what the world is doing, or what the United States is doing. You know, if you do that in another country, they just shoot the guy. You know, the thing is, this guy was stepping up when nobody else would step up. And he is called a hero for a reason, because he stepped in and did the right thing. I wouldn't do that. I'd be afraid of doing that, because I'm looking out for me first. Because I'm not a hero, and I don't expect to be a hero. But, I just want to make sure I'm living at the end of the day. But if you come at me with a knife or a gun, I'm going to do everything I can to stay alive if he comes after me.
Well, like I said, unless there's something to the contrary that I don't know, there's something that comes out that I don't know, I think Daniel Perry is a hero and should be exonerated and deemed innocent.
How long ago did this happen?
2023.
Oh, geez, it's even a year ago. Oh, I didn't know that. Why didn't I know about that?
It made national news, but Mike, you're into music and you're into movies.
Entertainment.
You're into this stuff, and
Well, I mean, it's hard to catch everything. I mean, I got.
That's right.
A lot of the stories I got, I try to stay away from a lot of the weird ones. Like, I don't really like to talk about rape, and I don't like to talk about death and all that stuff. I try to avoid that, but every once in a while, I just got to, like with Diddy, we don't have a choice about that, because he's did just about everything he could possibly do to be bad. But, I try to make the show have a positive swing on it.
Well, see, I'm on top of it because I read 5 to 6 newsletters a day.
Yeah.
And I listen to about 5 or 6 podcasts a day.
Yeah.
So these things are in my mind. So I know about this stuff. That's the only difference.
Sure.
Hey, speaking of Diddy for a second, I am very interested to find out who was at these parties with him.
Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of people eventually when this goes to court. There's going to be a lot of people's names coming up. So I
think Diddy's going to take him down with him.
Yeah, I would imagine. This is going to be another Weinstein thing. He's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot of other things below him. Although Weinberg was the whole iceberg, but I mean, a lot of people, he went down because of a lot of other people. Yeah. So same with Cosby, although Cosby got off after a shortened period. Now, according to the news, Weinstein supposedly has cancer now. I don't feel sorry for him though.
No, I don't either.
If he did everything that was said that he did, we got to do something about it. We got to, those kind of people that exploit other people like that, they got to go down.
See, I have an ethical dilemma in this situation. The ethical dilemma is this. I'm commanded by Scripture to pray for the sick.
Okay.
And sometimes those prayers work. Not all the time, but sometimes they do.
Okay.
I have an ethical problem. If I was the chaplain, would I go in there and pray for his sickness to be healed, his cancer to be healed?
Okay. Now I'm kind of glad. I'm maybe not going to be glad when I'm done talking. I'm kind of, sort of, maybe going to be upset that I said this, but okay. So I got a letter today from somebody, I don't know who they are. They just sent me a letter saying I should vote for Trump, and I'm praying for you.
Okay, so it was a Christian help.
Yes. And I said to Christine, it's ridiculous. It's stupid. She said, what's stupid? I said that they should pray for me. Why is it stupid? I said, well, they don't know me. Why should they pray for me? Why should they pray for me? And what if I don't vote for Trump? Does that mean they take the prayer away? I mean, well, I don't believe in blindly praying for people. Okay, so people used to tell me they prayed for Pam to get better. She never got better. Okay, she just kept getting worse, Don't waste your prayers on things that aren't going to happen. And why would you pray for people that you don't know? And you don't know what my problems are. You don't know what I need. You don't know what you're praying for. What are you praying for? I have issues with that. I have issues. It's okay. Okay, if you want to pray for me because I'm going to look for a job and I'm going to a job interview. If you want to pray for that, okay, that's good. Pray for me because I'm looking for a job and you want me to be better off because I get this job or whatever it is. But don't blindly pray for me because you don't know what you're praying for. Maybe my goal is to be a serial killer and Captain Crunch is on my list. Okay? Do you want to pray for me for that? Or what are you praying for? You don't know what you're praying for. You can't pray for someone blindly. You're going to have a reason to pray for somebody. Is that crazy?
So, I had a very serious situation that happened yesterday.
Okay.
And I asked a couple people to pray for me in this situation so I would know what to do.
Okay.
And so I thanked, there were three people, so I thanked the two people that I know personally, and there was a third person in Plymouth, Kentucky that they contacted to pray for me. So I got his number, and I wrote him a text. I said, "Thank you very much for praying for me. Not that I felt the prayers, but I was just thankful that they prayed for me." I told them what the situation was, and they prayed. So they knew what it was. It wasn't a generic prayer. So I wrote back and I said, the last thing I said was, "Well, look, is there anything I can pray for you?" And he said, "Well, just pray for my family and me." I have no freaking idea how to pray.
Yeah. And see, the people okay, so social media to me is the biggest joke in the world, because people will say, just in the listing, they'll say, "Please pray for me." And that's all. You don't know why. You just pray for them. What are you praying for? And why are you asking? I don't believe that you should have to, some people do that just because they want you to say, "Well, what's wrong?" And they want to be able to talk about it. Other people probably believe that if you pray for them for whatever reason that we don't know what it is, it'll get fixed. I never ask anyone to pray for me because I'm thankful. I said to Christine, "Look, first off, this person doesn't know me. How can they pray for me? What are they going to pray for? Pray for me to be a billionaire? Pray for me to be happy? Pray for me to be, they don't know. They don't know me. They don't have any idea about me." I said, if they want to pray for somebody...
Would it shock you to know that I pray for you?
No, but that's different. You know me. And you know where I came from. You know a lot about me that some people will never know. A lot of people, probably no one would ever know some of the stuff that we know. But that's regardless. That's one thing if you're praying for somebody and you say, "Well, he's gone through a lot of stuff, so So maybe I should pray that he gets through it fine. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. That's okay. That's okay. But I'm going to get through it fine anyway because that's the way I am. I'm driven. I believe in that, and because where I came from, I always want to be positive. I'm trying to be positive about things. I'm trying to be helpful. I feel like I treat Christine better than I've treated anybody because I've learned from my past. I've learned that I was an a-hole a lot, and I've learned that I've tried to, and we can't always just flip a switch and we're the other person, but I believe that people should pray so it means something. Don't just generically say, and I pray for Mike Trash. I pray for Mike Trash. What do you pray for him? What give us something. Give something.
For God's will to be done. That's the generic.
Well, isn't it already going to be done? Isn't it already going to be done? Because God already says it. I mean, I don't get that because I don't believe. See, I'm going to get in trouble for saying it.
I don't pray that way.
I'm going to get in trouble.
I believe
I'm going to get in trouble for saying
that God's will is always done.
Well, then why are you praying for it? Because you know it's going to happen.
Okay. I don't pray that way.
And like I all the years that Pam was dying, everyone was saying, I want to pray for her. I want to pray for her. And all she did was get worse and worse. That proves to me that prayer doesn't do it. It doesn't fix because that wasn't meant to happen. If it was meant to happen, it would have happened, and you didn't have to pray for it to happen. I think that.
What happens if God in His sovereign will, that He is in total control of what happens?
Yes.
But He works through the prayers of His people.
He doesn't. Because nobody wanted Pam to die. No one wanted Ken to die. No one wanted these people to die. I mean, Ken, there was no one in the world that disliked Ken, ever, ever, ever. Yet he died out of the blue. Didn't even have any, just boom, COVID, boom, he's gone. But there were many people that wanted him to live. Now his mother, I feel bad for her because she's never been the same since he died. And his sister, just, they aren't the same. And if there was any way, I could have stopped it. If it meant praying, I would have prayed every day, every night, every second of the day. I lost a lot too when I lost him. He was one of the two people in this world that stood by me when I was at the worst part of my life. But I lost him, and I lost the other person that was the one person that I could believe in and trust in through my everyday and believe and would accept me when I was the biggest a-hole in the world. And the two people that believed in me are gone. And what did I prayed for her over and over again. And then I finally prayed for her to die because she was getting worse and worse, and there was no way I could stop it. And I prayed for forgiveness, and I prayed for, it just doesn't, I don't, it's just, I'm being very vulnerable right now, but that is how I feel. I feel that, all it told me was that prayer doesn't work. That whatever is going to happen, whether or not you pray for it. Why didn't people, why didn't Hitler get stopped before he killed the millions of Jews? Why are things like this even, this is so, why is this thing in Israel even going on? They're chosen people. They're the chosen people. Look at what's going on to the chosen people. The chosen people are being killed because they're the chosen people. So no matter how much prayer we make for the chosen people, they're still going to die. Millions of them. So somehow I just think that I do believe in God. I do. I absolutely do. I don't believe in prayer. I believe that we're all going to get judged on whatever we do in this world. And for better or for worse, I just don't believe that that our opinions really matter when it comes to prayer, because, you know, Pam shouldn't have died. Ken shouldn't have died.
Michael, you've been hurt.
I should have died before Ken. Ken was in good health. Ken was, you know, and I just can't. I can't. The only thing I can think of that makes sense to me is that God wanted me to go in a different direction, and I wasn't going to go in that direction as long as Ken was alive. And now that he's dead, I'm in another direction that I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would be in. I never saw myself going into acting. I never saw myself trying to become a writer. I never, ever, ever in my wildest dreams saw any of that coming. And my whole life today versus 4 years ago was so different because Ken was alive. And I thought, well, okay, I guess the best thing I can think of with Pam dying is I'm free of having to care for her and make sure that she's okay all the time. So maybe he took her from me because I wasn't doing what he wanted me to do. I wasn't focusing on things, and then when Ken died, I was like, oh wow. I look at my friends, and my friends now, total different people than before Ken died. Like all the people that I'm friends with now are different people. They're all, I mean, other than you, I mean, you've been around, we've been friends, but we have been friends, long distance friends for a long time. We've only recently reconnected to the point we are now.
Yeah.
And which is better than we ever were. And I feel I could tell you just about anything and not be afraid to tell you.
Well, I love you, brother, and you can tell me anything. I don't judge.
Well,
not my place to judge.
The thing is, I've seen how you've grown, and I trust you. I actually talked about this earlier today. I trust you more than I've ever trusted you. I talked to Christine. We were talking about this, and I think we talked about this, and I've said that you're more reliable, you're more there when I need you than you've ever been, and I just think it's really a good thing, because sometimes I just it's interesting, because I mean, I'm venting now more than I would ever normally vent on my show, but I think it's important to say what I've said in the context that I've said it, and explain there's reasons why I said it, but it's important to me to know that you aren't the person you were in the 80s, 90s. Well, I don't know about 90s because we didn't talk in the 90s, but 80s we talked. And I've talked to you here and there, but the person that you are today, I really appreciate more than ever. And I just think it's cool that if I needed someone, I feel like I could trust you with anything. And that's to me is the top level of friendship that it could be, is that being able to talk to you, and actually talk to you like this, where I'm on your turf and not my turf, because this is something that's very, very personal, and most times I avoid talking about things like this, because, you know, it is the way it is, and there's no way I can change the things the way that it happened, or I just had to accept things the way that happened to me. And I didn't rely on anyone for since probably college. A good 30 years I haven't relied on anybody. They were there, the people that were there, but I didn't realize how much they meant to me till they were gone. Maybe that's the lesson that was need to be learned. Maybe there was something else. Maybe it wasn't anything to do with me. Maybe things happened because I was supposed to be there for them, and I was there for them, or wasn't. Whatever, I don't know what the reasons, I'll never know what the reasons are. But I do know that I'm pretty content with my life overall, and there isn't too many scenarios that I can say that I can't deal with. Hi Tina, how you doing? Came into to my counseling session. But I just want to say that I am very thankful that you're back in my life, and back not as a small part of my life, but as a bigger part of my life. And yeah, I just wanted to say that. So
thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, we bonded in a house in the mountains. So
yes. Here comes the sun.
Here comes the sun.
Do. With some of the craziest people who have become very mellow in our. We've become very mellow in our.
Especially that night.
Yes, that night was really crazy. I was scared. I was scared. I was scared of all those things that you would read about in where the mountain men would come out and get you or something. So, yeah. Someday we'll have to talk about that one-on-one, because I want to tell you some of the things that ran through my head at that point. I was young and impressionable, and I was very, very impressionable at that point.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
my goodness.
Yeah. But thankfully, we got out alive, and I guess all of our group is still alive, too.
Oh, yeah. We're all alive.
The one person that's not doing as well as the other one was the one friend of Rob's. I can't think of his name right now, but I think he has MS or something like that. And,
that's too bad.
Yeah. But everybody else is still alive and kicking. And that's kind of interesting to see that we made it this far. And had I thought about that way back then, I mean, I didn't think I'd be hitting 50, let alone where I am now. So, we made it. We made it this far.
We made it this far.
So, it's funny. Oh. Have any more topics?
One more.
Okay, what is it?
All right. The House had a task force on the assassination attempt. The first one.
The first one,
on
okay.
Donald Trump.
Okay.
Okay. And they found that it was preventable.
Yes, I believe that.
It was caused by a lack of planning and coordination between Secret Service and local police.
Okay.
And they found it to be disgusting. They asked that 5 members of the Secret Service be fired.
Okay.
And they're not fired. They are sitting on desk duty, I believe.
Okay.
They're all on desk duty. And they want the entire Secret Service reformed.
Huh.
Which, in Washington, that's probably not going to happen because those ships turn very slowly.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the weird thing about that was the fact that they requested more Secret Service and were denied, saying it wasn't a big enough event or whatever the reason was, or they didn't have enough people or whatever it was. But that is a little disturbing because, if nothing had happened, nobody would have thought about it, but something did happen. And had it been just a hair one way or the other, it might have made a big difference. And if you were believing in divine intervention, like he would be the chosen one if you're believing in that, because he didn't die. And he certainly used that to his advantage. And that man was smart enough to take and run with that. And I would have done that too if I could run with that. But, yeah. Crazy stuff. So, yeah, that... I guess I can see... I mean, I don't know that they should be fired necessarily, because it was not necessarily their fault. I think it was the understaffing was part of their fault.
Well, also, they had a young man, inexperienced man, running the scene.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's the fault of the higher-ups. See, they have two jobs in the Secret Service: protecting people and going after financial crimes.
Okay.
And one of the things this House Task Force said is that going after financial crimes should be given to another agency.
Yeah, I agree
and
with
that
that.
the Secret Service should just focus on protecting people. They wouldn't have to add a single person or increase their budget, anything, because they'd have enough people going after financial crimes. They'd have enough people to pool to protect the 39 people they have to protect right now. I think it's 39.
Wow.
That they have to protect.
Hmm.
So whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know.
Wow.
But they shouldn't have to do financial crimes.
No. I think that's... Yeah, I agree with that. They shouldn't be doing that.
One other thing that they found was that if you remember the picture of Trump putting his fist in the air,
Yeah.
his upper torso from his belt line all the way up was exposed because the woman that was there was hunched down and too small to cover his torso.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So he was exposed. If anybody else was going to take a shot, they had a wide open shot of his torso.
That's crazy.
Because they're hiring women that don't meet the height requirement. DEI hire.
Yeah. That would be... It's lucky there was only one guy there, one shooter. If he had been a sniper, he would have been dead. And if there had been more than one, they definitely weren't paying enough attention. Because I don't know how that could have been worse planned. I mean, the guy was about as close as he could probably have hit him.
Well, he wasn't. That's right. He wasn't a good shot because at that distance he should have hit him in the head.
Yeah. So
his head's a big enough target.
Yes. Well, and that's on normal circumstances, not when he gives a speech. It gets bigger when he talks.
See, when I was in the military, I was a marksman, and that's for 150 feet away. That's a large target at end.
Yeah.
You should be able to hit it.
That's crazy.
So that was divine intervention.
Jeez. That's crazy. All right.
Well, I bailed us out in at least an hour and a half, probably closer to 2.
Well, I had stuff. It was good. You had good stuff to talk about. I guess we ought to leave on a good note, though, so I'm going to pull up something good.
Yes, we have to have something good.
How about a rescue dog rescued a human? This dog sat in the road. Oh, here we go. Got it. Until a car stopped, then led a human into the woods to save an injured human. How's that? Gita, a 13-year-old rescued dog, is being hailed as a true hero for flagging help after her elderly owner fell and injured his leg in Washington State last month. Stevens County Sheriff's Office said this in a news release. Deputy Colton Wright was patrolling a rural wooded area in Stevens County when he spotted a dog sitting in the middle of the road. With no visible residences by, the officer assumed the dog had gone missing and tried to get Jita in his car so he could try to find the owner. However, Jita firmly refused to get into the vehicle, prompting the deputy to check the surrounding areas. Sensing something was amiss, Wright went back to the dog, which was now laying in the center line. As he tried to get the dog off the road, the animal took off slightly traveled, unmarked roadway. The deputy followed the dog, who led him into a small summer cabin. As he was checking the room, checking around the area, he found an elderly male laying on the ground, calling for help a short distance from the cabin. Turns out Jita had been seeking help for her 84-year-old owner who had fallen and couldn't get up. The injured man had several other medical conditions that needed regular medications, had been on the ground for hours, and may have had serious consequences had he not been found. So Jita helped save his life. It's kind of cool. That was kind of nice. It was nice that an animal gets to be the hero. So wanted to make sure I read that one because that was one of my good ones that I wanted to, because every once in a while I get on a thing of doing these bad stories, so I had to have a good one to finish it up. So that was good. Yeah, that was kind of cool. All right. I found some stuff for next week that is going to be real good. I did contact that one lady I told you we were going to do, and I'll be talking to her Thursday. No, wait. I think Thursday I'm going to be talking to her about setting up an interview. The lady about positivity. So
great.
That's my beginning of back into interviewing again. So that'll be cool. So, all right. Anything else?
I carried the show for you, Mike.
Yes, you did. About time. Every once in a while, I got to just shut up and let you do the talking.
There you go.
I remember when you used to do the talking all the time. When we went
I used to talk all the time.
We used to have we were both in senators in the college, and I would sit back and let everybody else talk, and sure enough, you were up there causing trouble. So that's one of the things I admired about you. You're not afraid to talk, and I'm a guy that likes to sit back and let others talk, except in this show.
And except in this show.
So, all right. Well, I guess then that's it. We will talk to you guys next week, and let's see here. I can do this through, where's that? There it is. Through this, by the trailer. Oh, nope, not the trailer. Where's it at? I hope I did it. Maybe I don't have it. Maybe I thought I put it in here and I didn't. I'm going to have this thing all set so that I can find my intros and outros a lot easier. But again, I didn't find the outro in here, so I guess I didn't do it right. All right, I will talk to you next week then.
Next week, bud.